All right, so we are now live.
Okay.
So thanks everybody for tuning in. We've got a cool guest, World War Wisdom. I've seen a lot of his videos as well as you guys all probably have. Shorts, regular length videos. The kid knows his shit, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And yeah, the reason
very much enjoy your content, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Appreciate it, guys.
So Nate, the guy that I was just calling, like he can't make it tonight, but like he's a fellow 29th reenactor, and he's been doing it for almost 20 years. And that's why I was like, hey, you should get on. You guys have probably crossed paths at events and stuff,
I'm
like
sure, yeah,
and everything, like, you know. So it's but he's got stuff. Life came up, of course, but no, it's freaking cool, man. So you primarily do from what I've seen, 29th medic.
I do a little bit of everything, to be honest. I don't do 29th, or at least I haven't done 29th, but I've done pretty much everything. First ID I did for D-Day last year. I do 101st Airborne. I've done some 82nd Airborne. I just did a 79th event. I've done 3rd ID and yeah, lots of whatever it is. I got all the stuff. I just kind of look for cool events and throw an impression together. And then my main impression is an 83rd ID group.
Nice. Very nice.
Put your hand down. Cool.
No, that's why we roll, because we're all going to want to say shit, but like that's what we've learned is the best way to just freaking yeah.
So World War Wisdom, I mean, I've hit you up a few times. You probably haven't realized it because you probably get hit up a lot. But I've messaged you about Naval Beach Battalion stuff before.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've actually done Naval Beach Battalion stuff as well?
I have. I've done Naval Beach Battalion for a very long time.
Nice.
I got into reenacting because like a childhood friend of mine, his dad was a reenactor and would take us to stuff. And that's who does Navy Beach Battalion. So I've been going to D-Day events with them since I was like 9 years old, something like that.
Yeah.
And now, yeah, I do a Naval Beach Battalion corpsman impression.
I'm definitely going to have to hit you up for some more stuff.
For sure.
Yeah.
I have a ton of reference photos and everything like that, and the color that you need to paint the helmets and all the good stuff.
I need to have it.
Yeah.
Do you have the book called Spearheading D-Day?
I might. I have a lot of books on PDF. Let me look it up right here.
That is like the Beach Battalion Bible. There's a chapter in there, and that's always what we point people towards. It's a really good reference. That whole book is really good.
Yeah, it's called what's it called? Spearheading what?
Spearheading D-Day.
Just that. Okay. I might have it.
I'll show you what it looks like.
Yeah, physical copies.
Looks like that.
Okay. Well, I'll have to get that.
But there's a chapter in there on the Beach Battalion that's really
doesn't look like I have it in my PDF books, but I'll write that down.
It's a good one. Beach Battalion's really interesting.
That's I'm well, like, because I do D-Day artwork, so that's why like I'm trying to get all these things accurate and stuff. And 29th ID, first ID, like all like the basic infantry stuff, you can find a lot of info on that out there, as you already know. But like the Navy stuff is more obscure, it seems. Yeah,
it is. And it was also just a smaller group of guys, and people don't often associate the Navy with being on land. So Beach Battalion often gets forgotten.
Which is kind of shitty if you think about it, because those guys did an insane amount of work. They worked with everyone else, the infantry guys, the engineers, and whatever, and they basically made it possible for the landings to happen.
Oh yeah,
and it's like they get overlooked. So like, yeah, they're in Saving Private Ryan for a hot minute, and then like whatever. But it's like that never gets talked about, and that sucks, because those guys were there, and as Navy guys, they were going through the same shit that all the infantry guys were.
Yeah,
They call them the sailors dressed as soldiers because they wore a lot of Army stuff, and they trained with the Army, and they landed with the Army engineers and all that.
One thing I find really interesting about them is that like some of the units had paratrooper equipment. Like, they wore paratrooper boots, and some of them had the M1A1 carbines. That's so weird.
Yeah, it's really neat stuff. You see a bunch of unique equipment with the Beach Battalion just because of their weird role that they had. And they called them the 6th Naval Beach Battalion. I think Caruso was the last name of their CO. They called them Carusi's Thieves because when they were getting ready, they stole a bunch of gear to use for the invasion because they weren't issued a bunch of stuff.
That's why that happened. Okay, that makes really interesting. Nice.
So they just acquired this shit and then
Maybe if the army would quit just leaving shit around.
Well, see, the problem there is that the army has too good of logistics, and everybody else is fucking jealous.
I was gonna say the army's really known for leaving shit around. They still do it by the trillions of dollars.
That's because we have so much stuff to leave. You know, we can't haul it all in one trip.
Yeah, exactly. See,
we're like guys hauling in the groceries at the end of a grocery shopping trip. You know, if we can't do it in one trip, it gets left behind.
And then the Navy comes in and just grabs the other bags.
it's easier if you
And
just
then the Marine rat fucks what's left.
Yeah, exactly. That's freaking yeah, I mean, like, I heard a lot of stories about that shit happening with not just the Navy Beach Battalions, but just infantry guys in general. They're like, well, we got to find shit, and they would go steal from other units and shit like that. And it's like,
oh yeah,
it's like, well, now we're fucked because we don't have this equipment. What are we gonna do? Oh, we'll just steal it from another unit. You know, it's just the cycle just keeps going.
Yeah,
It's never end.
So, Wisdom, I got a question for you. I'm not familiar with the 83rd. I'm kind of looking them up, but I basically know nothing about them. Give us a rundown.
83rd. They were put in action. They landed shortly after D-Day. D-Day plus 10, I think most of them landed. And I'll give you the World War II history.
Yeah.
They were active before that, but and then we're in combat for much of the remainder of the war. And they developed, speaking of stealing things, they called them the Ragtag Circus because they stole a ton of enemy equipment, like vehicles and all kinds of stuff, and put it into use. And there's pictures of them rolling down the street, I think during the Bulge, with a ton of German half tracks that they just slapped a star onto.
Oh, nice.
Kugelwagens and like enemy equipment, whatever they got their hands on. So they called them the Ragtag Circus.
Nice.
So pretty.
And they had more fuel than the Germans did.
Right.
Right. To actually run those freaking half tracks.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's cool. Because the 83rd, one of the other producers on the on Revet, she is a historian. She works in the archives, and her father was in the 83rd, and she does tours in Normandy on down to Germany, where the 83rd kind of went, and everything. And she's super into that and knows a ton about that. So if you ever want to know what
was he from Ohio? The 83rd is
Missouri.
Oh, okay.
So he's probably a replacement that got thrown in, and then right before the landings and everything. So, but yeah, the 83rd, yeah, they're from. I know the unit patch and everything. The right down triangle, yeah.
And it has like all the letters of Ohio.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool design, cool patch.
That's really what it is. Now that you say that, it's got all the letters of Ohio in it. I see it.
Ohio.
Yeah, here.
Because you guys had the 37th and the 83rd. Yeah, I'll share this really quick. Yeah, it's the 83rd ID's. Yeah, Ohio. Right. It's like the Toyota symbol. It's like the Toyota symbol, but in an army hat.
Yeah. It's not a crosshair.
No,
it's like but it does look like a crosshair. That's a cool fucking patch.
Looks like
it's a good one. They kind of killed it with that one.
I mean, it's not as good as that one, but
yeah.
What, the butt plug?
Jake and I both can wear two of those on our shoulders.
Yeah.
So we're pretty freaking
I got one permanently attached.
Oh,
that's from when I was 18.
Fucking nerd.
I can't believe that tattoo's 20 years old. I'm fucking old.
You're getting old.
You are an old man, dude.
I am.
Dude, and I feel old, so yeah. But
you got more of a disability rating than I do, and you only deployed once.
That's great to just fucking throw up publicly.
It's fine.
That's lovely. That's just
Granted, yours is all psychological disability, so
not all. You fucking clown. Fuck you. Get fucked, you fucking.
I mean,
God,
to be fair,
I'm surprised they gave you a rating because it was all pre-service.
I know, right? That's what I was just saying.
I was planning on punching this fucker tonight, but
I'm waiting for it.
you're fucking toast in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I know.
Toast, dude. You're done.
He's coming to my house in a couple weeks.
Yeah,
we haven't seen each other in person
since Iraq.
April 2010.
I didn't see you there. You might have seen me, but I didn't see you.
You weren't at Marshfield?
Yes, I was, but I didn't see you. So
then yeah, the last time we actually had a conversation in person was in Iraq.
Yep, in
2009.
Yep.
And we live 2.5 hours away from each other?
Again.
Maybe 3.
Yep.
Shows how strong your guys' relationship is.
Well,
Mike's mental disability keeps him from.
Oh my fucking god!
No, I kid.
Mike's actual mental disability is sitting right by his left shoulder.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you. Yes.
I don't help, that's for sure.
Fucking
Devin is not actually here. He's just a figment of Mike's imagination.
Yeah, he's like
is anything real?
No, it's
No.
not. You're crazy.
You guys
Sorry.
sorry. I'm not crazy. You can see him, right?
He's like the great Gazoo from Flintstones.
Except less funny.
Yeah.
Well, rural wisdom, okay, so I assume you're in around your early 20s, right?
Yeah, mid 20s.
Cool.
I was gonna say he's 46. No,
So yeah, he's 46. He's just drinking that adrenochrome, and it's working wonders.
Stem cells, I tell you.
Yeah, stem cells.
Gosh,
So
Canadian canned maple syrup.
Well, fuck off.
That's
Don't get him started, Jake. You fucking clown. So you said you've been going to events since you were about 9 and everything. When did you actually start in the hobby, like actually going to events and doing, like actually participating in the events?
Yeah, I did. So like I said, my friend's dad is like how I first got into it. And I think 8 years old, I probably went to my first, like we would go to parades in uniform and stuff. And I had a bunch of the World War II equipment and everything, which was great back then when I was a kid because everything fit me. All the stuff I find, it's like all the pants back then are like 24-inch waist.
24, 26. Yeah.
Crazy. But yeah, and then I think when I was 12, I did my first like battle reenactment. And that's how I got into being a medic. I was too young to carry a weapon.
Yeah.
So they would have you do medic, and I got really into that side of things. And I went to events with them for a number of years. Then I kind of got out of it for a bit when I was in like college and high school. And then kind of towards the end of college, got back into it, found some groups in my area, and been doing a lot of new events ever since and stuff.
Yeah, it's cool you say that thing about the medic because I used to do World War I, as you may have seen because you said you watched my show, which is weird. Yeah. But so we had a kid that wanted to be in our unit really bad. He went to events and like saw us and was talking on Facebook. And then he was under 18. So it was like, he goes, well, I'll just be a medic if that's okay. And I'm like, yeah, it's fucking fine. At 16, he bought an entire World War I US a medic kit. He bought the fucking original armband, original glasses, the original belt, hatchet. At 16, he's working at Subway, and he's like, hey, I want to fucking do this. And he did, and it was like he learned everything about it. He had the toe tags and everything like that, like the casualty tags.
Yeah.
All that shit. He had the tag pouch, and he would do that. And he ended up going into the actual army and like being a combat medic when he was 18. And I was like, and so it was
real.
Yeah, but he he did that. But no, he because I asked him once he was past 18, I was like, hey, do you want to just be a ref? And he's like, no, I'll stick with the medic thing. And I'm like,
right, nice.
It's freaking cool, And it was the hatchet was for in World War I.
Splint making.
Yes, it was for making not splints, it was for stretchers.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, like you would get sticks or like, whatever, and you would just, that was the idea behind it. It was a multi-purpose tool, of course, but like that's what it was issued for. And so medics would be carrying hatchets and among other things and whatever. They had their own belt, which let me try to find a fucking picture of him.
Canes were a lot harder to open back then. You needed a hatchet.
Shut the fuck up.
Chop the freaking top of it off. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was also that also doubled as an amputation tool.
Hey.
Probably.
I mean, at some point.
But usually the medics wouldn't do amputation. They would bring them back to an aid station and then they would perform that.
To a surgeon.
Yeah. So I'm gonna try to find a picture of him because.
Mike, you ever make it out to Newville for those events?
No, I didn't. I know a lot of people who have, and I just never made it out there. I understand what it's all about and everything, and it's pretty freaking immersive and everything like that.
Yeah.
And they do a spring and a fall event, but I never made it out there. Yeah,
I've thought about picking up World War I at times just to go there. It sounds like they do it right.
It's pretty serious. Yeah, like it's I just
cool to go. I got all that Austrian stuff, and nobody does Austrian.
Very few, but also like they mainly in Newville, from what I saw of it or seen of it, they usually do Western Front. So I don't know how Austrians would fit in, but it's okay. Here it is. Where the fuck is he? Yeah, here's a picture. Well, no, it's not a good picture. But yeah, Newville.
I mean, it's probably the best picture you're gonna get.
Yeah, it's just fucking. There's so much. Hold on. There it is. Okay, so I'll open a new tab. All right, check this out. This is him. He was 16 years old, and this was his first event.
He's got it going on.
Oh yeah, yeah. And he had everything, and he was 16 and working at Subway and bought everything that he could that was original, and if it wasn't original, it was the highest quality possible you could find.
Can you zoom in a bit? Is that a negatory?
Is that better?
There we go. Yeah, much better.
All right. Do you need me to go up or down? Yeah, I can.
I was just curious.
Yeah. So he bought those. So he was so freaking batshit about. He actually still has these glasses, which is funny because he's like in his 20s now. Those were original New Old Stock frames, and he had his freaking optometrist cut them and put his prescription in there.
No way.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah, and he wore those like through college and shit like that. But that's an original. Right there's an original World War I medic armband.
Nice.
And so he bought that, and he's got the belt right there with all the bandages and shit in there, and the hatchet on the other side. But like, and then he's got the uniform, of course, the putties and the boots and everything. So yeah, that was really cool when he did that. It was, it's one of those things that you do have to put a lot of money into the hobby.
Yeah.
Nate's in the house.
Yeah.
You have to put a lot of money into the hobby, but if you do it right and you teach people this is what it actually would have looked like, it's rewarding because it's like it's not just some half-assed freaking, just throw it together, whatever. It's like no. So what do you think about this wisdom? Is like so when do you have a problem if you are doing living history or reenacting? Do you have a problem if you have one piece of gear that's not totally correct and you're like,
Oh, I definitely have a problem.
yeah,
it bugs me.
Absolutely.
Hey, Nate the Great.
Yo, I got like 20 minutes real quick. I wanted to pop in.
Hey.
I will chime in on that. I absolutely agree with him. Don't wear it if it's not correct.
correct. Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's like it's better to just not wear something or have something on you if it's not correct than ruin everything else that you've got because of one wrong thing. And here's the thing is nobody else in the public's going to notice that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And it really doesn't matter, but it's like as people who love history, we have to we feel compelled, I think, to like, well, this has to be accurate because I want to show exactly what it was like. So
Yeah.
You know how many Germans don't have the right amount of pebbles on their buttons?
I remember that's one of the things you told me a long time ago, dude.
I witnessed where some guy literally sat there and counted on this guy's tunic the pebbles on the pebbled buttons to reduce the shine. He's like, real German ones have like 147 pebbles, and this one only has like this many.
We're not talking about necessarily weaponized autism here. We're talking about getting as close to perfection as possible.
Pretty much the same thing.
I was
that's the problem too.
I went like 2 weeks ago. I was at an event. It was a tactical, really high authenticity standards, like more so than any event I've ever been to. And one of the required items was an M43 jacket hood. Like
you were at Hazleton, weren't you?
No, I didn't make it to Hazleton.
I just, that's why the beard's gone. I just went there like 2 weeks ago. You said 43 jacket. I'm like, we were all doing late war there, and it's the standards were kind of iffy. So that's why I was curious. Sorry, go ahead.
Was at in Crescent, Pennsylvania, at the old abandoned sanatorium there.
I've heard about that one because there was the old abandoned insane asylum event up in Ohio years ago they can't do anymore because people were falling through the floors.
Yeah, that was the one where they did the events. But I went through the whole weekend with an M51 jacket hood, which is identical, but it just doesn't have the little leather reinforcement.
Unsubscribe right now.
Like
fake Barb.
Like, oh, nobody can see my leather reinforcements. But yeah, it definitely is one of those things.
So now everyone, if you see him at an event, you gotta tell him to show his tags, and you have to check the years. Otherwise, no,
right?
It's fake.
Yeah.
Not Korean war wisdom. Come on.
I side with that though. Like as long as the pattern is the same, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's like as long as it's not like the way I always look at it is like as long as you're not wearing like Vietnam style gear,
right,
for World War II. It's like, yeah, if you're wearing Korean, if you're doing like late war 44, 45, who cares if you have a 43 that's Korean or if you have a hood or like what bothers me is like when people wear like I can't remember the pattern, but it's like that super winter coat that's like very, very like
parka.
Edge of Korea, yeah, like that. Then I'm kind of like, like, why don't you freeze your ass with the rest of us? Like, you know.
Nate, you ever had any 29ers show up wearing like M43s?
Well, I just was there as 29th doing 43 because we by late 44, 45 they had them. They were being turned into that, but like 29th, like I call it the beginning. Like 29th mainly is. Like when we do D-Day Ohio, which I heard him talking about, is like, we're always 41s and wolves. And it's so funny how people they'll like go I can't remember who it was. There's a bunch of other like units that will like fall in with 43s or HBTs because they don't want to fall in with the wolves and the 41s. It's like, no, like if the 29th wasn't folded in the army, they probably would have rolled into Omaha with Kelly helmets. Like it just, it just was the way it was. Like we primarily do England to about, I would say maybe mid 44, and that seems to be where we normally post most of our events. And then like I think I pulled out my 43 the first time in like 4 years, and I could tell because my tits were hugging the inside of the jacket so close. Now you were talking about how your sizes like as a kid don't fit you. Dude, 20 years, you can't fit into your 18-year-old like uniform anymore. It's terrifying, especially when you become like a dad bod. It's like, oh no, like this. Like I woke up, I slept in my 43s at Hazleton, and I still have bruises right here from my corporal wools from about 6 years ago, like digging into my tits, and I'm like, just bruised up right in here. Oh, dude, it's that event. Have you ever been to Hazleton? Speaking on that,
no, I've never been there. I know some guys in my beach battalion group actually who I think go there regularly, and they've had great things to say about it. But
it's not bad. I mean, like, I'm gonna sound like an old bitter dude, but the hobby for me, it's like. I had like around your age, maybe a little younger, like we had more variety of stuff. And now it's the hobby's taking an internal dying turn, and it will rebound. It always does. But right now the amount of events or the effort into events are kind of stagnant. Like it seems like there's like not a lot of like huge push for new and experimental things.
Right.
So a lot of the events now seem to be like, okay, point A, point B, meet in the middle, kiss, retreat, kiss, retreat, kiss. It's like, like I'm remembering the days where it's like, okay, here's a map, and there's a horrible outcropping of rocks. We could dig in there and be really a pain in the ass, and work the land, not meet, kiss. So like Hazleton, as much as I do think we should be supporting local events, especially on the East Coast now, it's hard because there's a lot of that. And I'm remembering the older events where it's more kind of creative, I guess. But no, it was really cool. There was the Germans who were there played really well. There's always seems to be more and more 60-plus-year-old boomers who can't walk over a rock or take a hit. But it is what it is.
I'm doing Volkssturm.
No, actually, no. It was GI. No, it was GIs this time, man. The Germans
I know that.
No, you're right, because normally it's like it's a guy over 60. I'm sure Wisdom can say this. It's a guy over 60 with an MP40 who doesn't take a hit and kills about 40 guys.
Yeah. In my experience, they're usually doing SS too.
Yeah.
Oh yes, the Ubermensch, the bulletproof.
That rounds it out.
Oh yeah.
And they're fucking.
My favorite, from my experience, German hair is normally the best in playing fair. There's a bunch of units that have survived over the years that play pretty well. Other than KG Fransky, most SS units are trash. Like absolute trash. I'll go on record saying that. They can be some of the worst people to play with.
Oh,
and most of them are like, they sit in a car or a half track. My favorite memory of that is doing an L-shaped ambush, waiting for the half track to turn. We popped up with a bazooka, fired up. This is 18 years ago. Bottle rocket straight into the half track. Shot it right in the back. They all fly out. We all open up with a 30 and a BAR, and no one takes a hit. And they run ass through an open field like a wheat field. And I literally took a shot at a guy, and the guy went and continued to run at me with a 9mm. I'm like, are you kidding me?
That's why they call him the Ubermensch.
Yeah, yeah. So that's my memory dump on those events. But yeah, I'm sure you can sympathize with that one a little bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Here's a question for World War Wisdom and Nate as well. Have either of you guys done full blown impregnated uniform for D-Day?
Oh my god, those suck ass. Oh.
I've only done that for the airborne battles. Yeah, I've done it. I skip the wool shirt underneath usually, though. I just button it all the way up so you can't see.
I hear that is the worst.
Yeah, it really feels everything in there.
There's
moisture.
Did you ever do it like legitly? Like, did you ever like not obviously with the chemicals that give you like an extra tumor, but like I've read like guys do we had a guy who used to do Ranger Battalion. They did full HBTs with like fake impregnated uniforms. I mean, they still suck. Like they sealed everything, but I believe it was just snow seal, like on everything.
Yeah, there's a bunch of some people. I used just like paraffin wax for mine.
That was it. Yeah,
that's good. But some people use like deck sealant.
Oh,
and all these weird stuff. I guess if you want the authentic tumor, that's the way to go.
Just
go ahead, Mike.
No, I just say like I mean just stripping that off and just seeing just a full body rash or something like.
Oh, it's awful. Have you ever smelled a real one, Wisdom?
Oh, real what? The
like a real impregnated piece of clothing from the war. Have you ever come across like a real one?
I don't know that I have. I've smelled the original boot impregnate. That's the dubbing that was anti-gas. I've smelled that. And I remember I did a video on that, and I opened it and said, "It smells like it's giving me cancer right now." I'm going to blow it back up. It probably was. So
this was, 15 years ago when Gap was still around, and this is when the flea markets were like everywhere. So like not the strags that you had near the end, but like the mass. Like did you ever go to Gap in its heyday?
I never went to Gap ever.
Okay.
I think
There was
just as I was old enough to go, like they were really strict on the age limit there. I
Yeah.
always heard. Just as I was old enough was like the first year it didn't happen.
So you it got okay. So you got
after the mortar incident.
after the shocker incident.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. The guy is the best at dates now. We'll just say that. The thing is that
okay, so those of us who don't know the story, you got to at least give us the Reader's Digest version.
Nate, give the Reader's Digest version, the very short, abbreviated, because that's what got fucking nixed, right?
Yeah, not to piss off 40 in Town Gap any more than the reenactor community has already probably done over the years. Pretty much we were told that there was a leadership change about 2013. And the commander of the base was not liking the fact that there was an annual event of reenactors. I don't blame him. But there was when the barracks, so the whole drive of that event was when the barracks were old, like dumping asbestos and lead paint into your body like all times. Like those were the golden eras. Then they kind of remodeled them, made them Motel 6s, and you could just get the feeling that they just didn't want us there anymore. And over the years, it just got more restrictive, more everything. And I think it was the second to last. We ran a successful mortar sim, nothing flying out or anything like that, just simulation. And we did it successfully. The base kind of was like, we don't like that anymore. Don't do that. And unless it's been approved by the base MPs or whatever. And these guys snuck a mortar into the field, and it was a trapdoor mortar, and they put a kid who has never been to an event. Now, my unit never lets anyone of a first year run any kind of a squad weapon for that exact reason. It's like these guys aren't around it. They're not familiar with it. Pretty much what a trapdoor mortar is, it's a simulation round. It's a metal milled out, hollow demilled round that someone has pretty much made it so they can fire a shotgun blank out of it. And so when they drop it down, it goes off. Then they open up a trap door at the bottom of the mortar. They pull the mortar round out, and then close the door. Repeat. Well, someone didn't teach this kid, and whoever was managing him, I know who. I'm not saying it, but didn't, I guess, walk him through the appropriate things. The round got stuck. He kind of cockeyed it in the tube. He went to, from what the story tells, is that he went to go, I guess, grab it and adjust it or slap it, and he wasn't clearing his hand of the muzzle, and it dislodged, and as he went down, it went off and blew off two of his fingers about 30 yards in front, and gone, like just completely gone. And the base was like, damage control 0, like no one make fun of this. And so the reenacting community does what the reenacting community does and makes fun of it on social media, and the whole event got like nixed. Their base commander's like, all right, these guys can't be trusted. Like, someone snuck this thing on. It's a safety hazard, out. And there ends, I think, the longest reenacting event. I think it was on its 49th year. So it was a pretty long-standing event. But that's what happened with that one. But my whole story with the whole impregnation thing was they used to have, back in the late aughts, they would have had, I was at the very end of the heydays, where all these mess hall buildings, the church, everything was filled with flea market vendors. I mean, everything. I mean, you can find everything in there. And being, of course, I'm remembering the good days. I'm 18-year-old and have no money. Now I'm like 33-year-old and still have no money, but you can't find anything now. But I was like, I want this. I want these little tiny little things. And one of the things I grabbed was a winter hood that just felt weird. And the guy's like, I'll give it to you for $5. He saw a sap. He immediately was like, no one wants impregnated stuff. Right. And I grabbed this thing and I'm like, yeah, I'll wear it because I'm cold. Like it's like, 20-mile-an-hour winds. It feels like -9, like that kind of day. And I put this thing on and I'm like, I'm in this, like, we're in the school buses because they take you out in the school buses, and I'm like starting to get like woozy. I'm like, what the hell? Like, why am I like tasting like copper pennies in my mouth? Like, what the fuck is going on? And this stuff is like, The fact that if you have never touched it, you would know it. It feels almost like almost like it feels like wax, but you can tell it's chemical, and you just smell chlorine, and it's nasty. And I immediately took that thing off. Like, I'm in the bus, I'm like, I don't feel good. I'm like, I'm gonna take this thing off. Take it off. I stuff it in my bag. I get home. It stinks the whole entire car. Like you can smell it through I stuck it in I stuck it in a metal crate. I could still smell it in my basement. I think currently it's like John Wick, it's buried underneath the foundation.
I was gonna say, you still have this thing?
I still do, yeah. Because I can't bear to throw it away because it's real history. I have it. It's in like
Answer.
It's in like 4 trash bags in a Foot Locker in the back of my stairwell. Like,
is this why you're losing your hair?
Get cancer just for being in the same house.
Nate, is this why you're losing your hair?
Might be, yeah. Might be the reason why.
Time when he was 18 and now his hair's
yeah.
In his fucking house since he was 18. That's like
fine.
15 fucking years, and like, someday he's gonna be like, well, I'm losing my hair. Believe it or not, I have a shitload of cancer in my body, and I don't understand why.
That's all right. It's mostly just petroleum.
It's awful stuff. So if anyone ever runs into any World War II clothing that feels like kind of greasy with chlorine feeling to it, that's fucked. Don't take it. Don't keep it.
Yeah, you still have it in your fucking home.
Yeah, I want to.
I mean, it's buried. It's buried in shit. It doesn't touch anything.
It's like the firefighters' equipment at Chernobyl Hospital. It's still down there. It's gonna be down there radiating for all eternity.
Right.
Glass. It's fine.
Nate, I knew you were fucking dumb, but my God, that we reached a whole new level of your idiocy.
It might be the reason why I have my superpower, which is why I'm hairy like an ape, but I'm losing it all on the top of my head, so it's fine.
So what was it? If you bought a fucking hood for $5, and you were like, oh, my history, and it started giving you like you're kind of nauseous and whatever, would you just chuck the fucking thing, or what would you do?
I was 18.
Hey, I wasn't asking you, penis.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm with Nate on this one.
See?
I would keep that thing.
See?
I've got those, I've got the gas mask that they say has asbestos in it or whatever. I'm not getting rid of that.
No, but like
it's in a bin somewhere.
You cancer? Like actively?
He's not breathing into it every day. It's in a thing over there. I mean, like,
fuck.
Well, how about you just wash it and get the compound out? Like, just
no. This stuff is like, it like repels. I don't know how to describe it. Like, snow landed on it and it just sat there. And everything else is melting, but it's just sitting on. It was just sitting on it. Like, I visibly remember that.
I would have expected the opposite. I would have expected that like snow instantly melts on it, or something.
No, it just would
straight up. That's straight up the cancer that's impregnated into it. It's not going to. You get cancer by osmosis.
What we've established right now is Roar Wisdom and Nate are
gonna get cancer.
They're cut from the same shitty, fucking chemical resistant impregnated cloth.
I mean,
we're just built better.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'd wear it, but I would keep it.
Look, I'm not mentally disabled, so it's fine. You're the one with the disabilities. I'm fine. I just don't have anything going on for me now.
Up that hood a couple more
you thought I didn't hear all that before, but that's fine.
No. You hear everything. You're a fucking
Wisdom. I do have a question for somebody who was watching and I was hoping was going to be on tonight. Lee asked a question. Other than your father, what interested you, i.e., what was your hook into history?
Yeah, so that's.
I'm going to be real quick. I'm going to bow out. Wisdom, I'm sorry I've missed you, man. This has been a pleasure. Hopefully we can talk in the future, man. Sure. I'm normally the 29th, 116th at D-Day. Just come find me.
Okay, I'll see you
there.
All
right, man. I'll see you
later, Nate.
Yeah, I should be there this year, God willing. So we'll see.
Good.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. All right. So to answer that question, so it was my friend's dad actually that got me into it, not my dad. But that wasn't even the
Your
start.
dad failed.
my dad was great. He came to all the events and everything, but he never like wore a uniform. Not his thing, but he was totally there for it. But I had been into Army stuff, like military stuff, ever since I was a little kid. And maybe my dad does play a role because he always says he took me to the Army Navy store one time. And that was it. From then on, I just always wanted to go there. I was buying Army stuff. Wasn't always World War II, but then I got more into that side of stuff, started to go into reenactments, and the rest is history.
Yeah, it's a pretty similar history to myself. Like, I started my dad had a little collection because he was in the Marine Corps in the 80s and then got out for a few years and then joined the National Guard in 98. But like before that, he had like a collection of shit. And it was like, I was like 7. And it's like, oh, I like that. Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
And you're
going through the Army Navy store back when they actually still had real surplus in them.
Right. They used to have some really cool stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's all made in China knockoff shit.
Yeah, nowadays that's all you get there.
Yep.
And the same whatever brand that is of camping shit that Walmart sells with the bright green packaging.
Mm.
So do you guys want to learn what's in CC2 anti-gas?
No.
It's nothing that's going to hurt you, actually. The chemical components, it's basically petroleum jelly and the same stuff they used to make mothballs.
Oh, that's shit.
Yeah, it's mostly naphthalene and petroleum jelly. So,
well, naphthalene's not great for you, but it's
no,
also
it doesn't cause cancer or anything. So, yeah, you're totally safe.
Well, that's good.
And it was probably invented by a Canadian to give their American cousins
it was invented by the
war
DuPont
crime
chemical
cancer.
company. You know, the DuPont chemical. They've never done anything bad in their entire corporate existence because I don't want to die.
DuPont, yeah.
I just I did a segment on CC2 in one of my recent videos, the one I just put out yesterday, and there's a quote in there from a guy just after D-Day who says like, "Oh, we could tell that our CC2 treated uniforms were starting to burn our skin, so at the next hedgerow, we thought it'd be a good chance to start changing our uniforms."
Yeah,
it's like, oh yeah, probably should do that.
It's all the naphthalene and hydroxyl in it, which is just an alcohol compound. So,
yeah, but it's still not good for your skin. Like we had freaking, I just did a permethrin, yeah, but like that came later. But like I just did a presentation at my my high school. I hadn't been there in 16 fucking years, but like I did it for Vietnam, and I was wearing this shit and everything, and like I have the helmet, and you know the first question I always get is, "What's that bottle in the helmet?"
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's bug dope, and I got an original bottle. It's let's see if that'll show up.
It's not focusing.
Anyway, it's 75% DEET.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's the good stuff.
It actually works then.
This is the legit shit. This one's dated 66. Yeah. You ever smelled this shit?
I don't want to. I don't want to get cancer.
You're not gonna get cancer from DEET.
Go ahead, take a swig, Devin.
Yeah,
it tastes like syrup.
That's fucking strong, isn't it?
Like I just inhaled a bunch of off.
Dude. And so and the kids were like 75, and then the teacher's like, yeah, most
trying to find 10% now.
Yeah, most really strong shit now is like between 5 and 10%. This is 75. And then the kid's like, did it work? And I'm like, oh fuck yeah.
Every now and then I've found 100% DEET or like 90% DEET in the stores.
The shit that we had when we were in, like that cream that they would issue, it wasn't the juice, it was the cream, was like 80 something like that, 75, 80% DEET. And it's like, yeah, it definitely worked. But again, like you were saying, wisdom is like you leave it on your skin and you don't wash it off and you go to sleep. You wake up and your skin starts kind of blistering a little bit. You get a rash. And you're like, it's kind of fucking itchy, burning. But hey, bugs don't bite you. Ticks don't bite you.
Turns out there's so many fireflies in Vietnam. They're all just combusting when they get to
Oh man, yeah, that's true. The chemicals that the U.S. military has introduced to their subjects, I guess, for experimentation purposes. Oh, go use this, see if it works. It's insane.
anthrax vaccine?
I'm not going to talk bad about the DuPont Chemical Company or Big Pharma because I like my life.
Well, it's because you don't have cancer because of it.
That's right.
That's because when you deployed, you weren't in the American Army.
That's right. My country cared about us.
Well,
why the fuck did they send you to Afghanistan then?
I was a volunteer thing.
If your country cared about you so much, why did you leave?
Huh?
Oh,
that's a good question. And it's because there's a lot more opportunity down here, and there's a lot more money to be had down here.
Then they don't care about you.
And the political climate is a lot better down here. So
you live in Minnesota.
I know, which is like super conservative compared to most of Canada. So for reals, I'm not even joking. Like the Democratic Party here in America.
Ah, fuck. Here we go.
Is like the ultra conservatives everywhere else. And it's I mean, you can even ask a lot of people.
You're not wrong.
I know I'm not wrong.
But like,
I won't go any further.
Hey, who gives a fuck? What are you gonna do about it? Like,
Mike needs to get that on a T-shirt. Just who gives a fuck?
I haven't heard you do that catchphrase in a while. Jeez, that's one of your catchphrases.
20 minutes?
I don't know. It seems like I haven't personally heard it in a while. Who gives a fuck? So yeah.
How many times did I say that when we're on the film? On the film,
it's either that. It's either that or not good.
I know that's another one I like.
Yeah, that's not good. Yeah,
not good.
Mike, you just need to get a new license plate that just says "not good" on it.
Not good.
It's just going to be GUD. Good.
Yeah, NOT GUD.
Well, no, like we were shooting Revet. Like there were so times where Mike like came up to me like just like, oh, we got this. I'm like, hey, Mike, hey, who gives a fuck? And he's just like, fair. Okay, I got my answer. And he'd walk away and go up and do his thing.
Yeah.
It's like, who gives a fuck? And I also said, what do you think about this? Not good.
Not good.
Mike can go an entire conversation with those two lines.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, if you're asking questions, but yeah, I mean, okay. So wisdom, do you specifically do just World War II?
Yeah, I try to keep it just to that. As far as reenacting and stuff,
yeah,
like there are so many good. I just keep it to World War II U.S.
Yep.
It gets expensive otherwise.
What's that?
It gets expensive otherwise.
Right. That's everyone's always like, oh, start doing a German impression, do a British, do Vietnam, and it's like, no, I don't want to go down that path.
Also, nobody cares about that here in the United States. Nobody wants the British. They just care about the Germans and the Americans.
Yeah.
So. I mean, I wasn't going to say it.
Well, it's true, though. They're so underrepresented.
World War II was fought and won by the 101st Airborne, and it was a battle fought between the 2nd and the 17th SS, and the rest is history.
Yep, and Hiroshima got bombed because some guy threw a 1911 out of a plane. It's fine.
And the Marine Corps is a footnote in history because they were there.
Thank you, Dick Winters and Eugene Sledge.
Right. The two guys that won the war.
Dynamic duo. Yep.
It really was. If you that okay, so you obviously you're into history a lot more than most people are, and we've discussed this a lot. Like Mike and Devin and Jake and I, we're all like, I wish that there was some way to convey to people that World War II was not what I just said or what he just said.
Yeah.
It's like there's so like the 83rd. When people hear the 83rd, I know about the 82nd. It's like, yeah,
because they were better.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
What about the 83rd? What about the 79th? What about the 32nd? What about the 25th, the 26th? And it's like
27th.
27th, yeah. And it's like, how the fuck do you convey that? Because it's too much, I think. What do you think about that? As far as like what the average person thinks about when they think about World War II. What is your opinion on that?
Yeah, I mean, regarding that aspect, like people knowing the elite units or the ones that Hollywood features and everything, that's just kind of, I don't know. It's just kind of a fact of life, I guess.
Yeah.
Obviously, the guys who are doing really interesting stuff, like jumping out of planes, and behind enemy lines during a big operation are going to get more attention on the big screen and in, you know, the mainstream history world than the guys who were trudging along in the mud and sitting in foxholes for months on end. You know, the majority of the soldiers fighting in the war. But yeah, I definitely try to bring attention to that.
Yeah.
But it's hard to convey that this was you know, not even 1% of the forces that we had over there.
But
And
they're come on now.
right. But also that's the other thing. Like if that's what gets people interested in learning more about history is that they hear, oh, there's guys jumping out of planes and Dick Winters is really cool. And I saw a Band of Brothers. So that I think some people that really pisses them off, like that they're trivializing it a bit. But if that's the gateway to get you into learning more stuff, then I think that's great. You know, you got to start somewhere. And
we discussed that a lot, and you know, doing film reviews and stuff like that, and like that's the kind of thing is because I guess when you're at a point of like learning about this shit, you do tend to trivialize that. You're right, but it's like I try not to do that anymore because it's like you said, if that is what gets somebody into the macro level from a micro level subject, so be it. But the problem that I always bitch about this is that people never move past that, and then they go to parties and they're like, oh, well, you know, World War II, this is how this happened. It's like,
Right.
I mean, and it's like, it's really hard to like be out and listen to somebody spout off. It's like, yeah, I've seen Band of Brothers too. I've seen it. Why are you trying to like impress people with that shit in that caliber? I guess like it. I don't know that. So it's like a double-edged sword because it's like, yeah, I want people to be more interested in military history.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't want them to stop at Hollywood.
Fair. I always tell people go read a book. Or like I usually fire back when they tell me something stupid like that. It's like something simple. How many rounds does an M1 Garand magazine hold? And they're like 8, and I'm like, no, you cannot get the bolt to close with 8. It holds 7.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like go read a book, and then they go get, you know.
That's funny. All right, Mike.
Well, the funny thing is, like going back to making
make a video on that, yeah, because it's like
do a video on it.
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna piss a lot of people off because they're gonna be like, oh, it's 8. Yeah,
they're gonna be like, oh, I just went and got mine, and you're like, go try it, do it all day.
Yeah,
I'm wrong.
Your M block holds 8. Does your wire hold 8?
The magazine itself,
that's
though,
really
the
funny.
Magazine.
Yeah,
that's funny as shit.
That's what I tell people. It's something that's simple that can get people to go down the rabbit hole a little further without being too mean. Because like, I understand it's like people come up to stuff and their stuff's not perfect, but as long as they're having an enjoyable time and they look relatively presentable, like from a distance, I'm not even saying like right on them or like 100 yards away, but like if you could tell what they are from like 20, 30 feet away, that's good enough. You know what I mean?
When you're starting out, especially, you know, I think all of us, like when you start out, have done some bad impressions. I know I have. I mean, I was young, so
it's just like
give myself
not bad impressions. It's just you've got shit that you're wearing that is not correct, and it's gear here. But it's not bad overall. It's just like and then you get more detail oriented, and you're like, okay, Mike, I'm sorry,
you're good. You're good. But going
Mike's
back
a nerd.
Going back to the unit stuff like depicted in movies, when we did Reveille, for example, we knew that we were going to be covering 3rd ID, but then we also had this other segment in the film with another, and we're like, what other unit can we depict rather than the 3rd ID? So we did 36th ID because it goes in line with the area and the campaign that the movie was centered around. So it was like that was kind of cool to have that, to not only do 3rd ID in that movie, to do another unit also, just briefly for a minute.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah, he was wearing the 36th.
I did. I got
and
a long time.
That was a fun time for you, yeah.
But yeah, Nick had the
helmet.
The helmet with the 36th thing painted on it. It was like
because we had the patches, and I'm like, hey, do this. Just use the helmet green as the T, and then she did it freehand. and it looked really freaking cool because they did a lot of that shit. And then
Yeah.
the third ID after Anzio or at Anzio started putting shit on the sides of their helmets and shit. But it wasn't, the 36 is doing that from Africa onward. And the third ID was like, "Oh, maybe that's a good idea."
It is funny how that caught on with certain units.
Well, they still do it. The 36 still wears on their ACH or ECH covers. They'll still throw 2 patches, one on each side. The third ID does the same thing. The 101st units do the same thing.
Fourth ID does it too.
Yep. Yeah.
Four lieutenants pointing north.
Yeah. Fourth ID.
You see some units during the war though, like the 83rd or the 1st ID. It's like here and there you'll see a guy who painted his helmet.
Yeah.
And maybe they thought it was cool or something at the time, but it just never caught on like other units,
Yeah, because they're like, well, we lose these things frequently.
Right.
And it's like, fucking, okay, well,
maybe if they'd wear their damn chin straps.
There you go. Speaking of the Beach Battalion, I know there was a Beach Battalion guy, so Navy sailor on D-Day, lost his helmet, grabs some other helmet off the ground, and I guess it was like an officer's helmet. So it had Army officer. So everyone's coming to him for orders and all this stuff. And I can't remember the full story, but it took him a really long time to realize that the reason everyone was coming to him was he had picked up a helmet off the ground and everyone thought he was in charge for some reason.
That's like comedic right there. Yeah. He's just like, why is everyone talking to me? Oh, right.
I don't know what the fuck to do. Yeah. Why are you looking at me? What the fuck? Oh, God. Okay.
Wisdom. This is you might have seen this photo. There's a photo taken off, I think it's an LCI off Omaha, where a medic is a Navy medic is treating someone and he's wearing a talker helmet.
I know that one.
Yeah, such a weird photo. It's like a medic treats, but yeah, he's wearing the talker helmet for some reason.
I've even seen there's a picture of the 2nd Naval Beach Battalion on Utah Beach, and they're sitting at a bunker, and you can see one guy has a chin cup on his M1 helmet.
Oh, like a paratrooper?
Right. Okay. And that's what I thought it was at first. But if you look closely, they took a chin strap off of a talker helmet.
Oh,
they had those chin cups. They must have taken one off on the boat or something and hooked it onto their M1, which is like such a weird detail. But
I think I've seen that one.
Yeah.
It's the one.
I know which photo you're talking about.
They're all sitting in front of a sandbag bunker. And I'm familiar with that one because we like recreate that one every year at the reenactment that I do at D-Day. But that one, the one guy who's sitting down by a bunch of demo bags, he's got that strap hanging, and sure enough,
on his M1.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the strap has like little hooks, and he must have just hooked it up in there somewhere.
I have the photo pulled up right here.
Yep. Just share it up.
Yep. So Wisdom, how many of your M1 helmets did Josh Murray restore for you?
Just one that I know of. I got some secondhand that are refurbed, but one of them I did it's a guy on the
you. What the fuck?
Right.
What the really?
Isn't that crazy? You can see the buckle on it and everything.
Yeah. That's definitely a talker chin strap, but like, so that guy acquired that and then somehow jury rigged that thing onto his freaking M1.
Yeah, I would love to know the story behind that.
He's got a fur collar on that coat.
Yeah, he stole it.
That guy's friggin' straight up pimping.
Yeah. He's dripped out, man.
He's probably a fucking chief. If you really want to think about it, like he's probably a chief. Like I don't, because he's acting like I don't give a fuck.
Zoom in on his helmet, on the front of his helmet. That looks like he's a lieutenant.
Oh, he's a fucking lieutenant. Yeah,
he's a lieutenant.
Oh, so he does not give any fucks.
So I think the guy above him is a JG.
Well, here's the thing. Second always had USN stenciled on their helmets, so that might be what that is. Or no, actually, it looks like it is a bar.
Those are lieutenant bars.
Yep.
That's a set of railroad tracks.
That guy. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's freaking awesome, man.
Yeah, I love that one.
That's cool.
That guy gives exactly zero fucks.
Right. Right.
Yeah, and I think the guy above him is I think his helmet's got. Does that say USN on it, or does that?
He's an ensign. You see the bar?
He's either an ensign or a JG.
I think he's an ensign. It looks clearly like a bar to me.
Well, the JG is basically the equivalent of a first lieutenant.
No, it looks like gold. No, it looks like lighter colored than it.
Okay.
Well, I know it's black and white, but like it's brighter. It looks more gold than it does silver. But
what color was the band on the side of the helmet?
Blue.
It's like a light blue color. It's like a bluish gray color.
Yeah.
Oh, so it could be a JG.
Gray.
Yeah, he's probably a JG.
Yeah. Okay.
Heck yeah.
Those guys just.
That's a cool picture.
That is an awesome
I love that. We recreate that every year.
Is that just a pile of field phones?
Those are demolition charges.
You could say satchel charges.
Shit.
Yeah.
Satchel bags.
Holy fuck. That's a lot of firepower right there.
Right.
A great chair. Shut up.
Holy shit.
Oh, the war crime master is saying, nope, that's not enough.
That's a good chair. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought he was smoking a cigarette. Never mind, he's not. I thought he was smoking a cigarette next to us.
You guys see that generator?
Yeah, they got the generator, and that concrete, that's actually the seawall at Utah Beach.
At Utah, that short one that's there, yeah.
Yeah, and then they set up the bunker on there, and there was a couple other bunkers similar to this for communication purposes.
Yeah, that looks like the same type of generator that was on the Quad 50 turrets.
You can see this guy in the middle, I think, has a paratrooper scarf on, like a parachute scarf. So he they were at Omaha. He must have grabbed a parachute and ripped that off. I think there's another picture of him, maybe the one before this that you scrolled past.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see it on his
neck.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, definitely a parachute. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. It's funny, some of those guys too, their helmets, like some of them have that black USN stencil that looks like they really did it well. And then some of them look like they finger painted it or something.
It's probably just chalk.
No, that's hand done. That's just like literally a brush, like, or something in the
Yeah, because I think they gave the order a little bit later to put the white bigger on everything. And you'll see if you go to the next photo that we were just looking at, like the guy's jacket on the left, it says USN in black, and then they had them do it bigger in white so it was more visible.
Huh.
And a lot of the ones you see, the white was just like clearly somebody with a paintbrush slapped it on. These ones look at least like maybe they used a stencil or took their time.
There are there are a few ones off Omaha where I got a bunch of the Navy guys have just like one letter paint, like the letter B for some reason painted on the back of their HBTs. It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is really cool. You got more pics, Mike?
Yeah, yeah, let me see here. These are all Utah photos that I collected.
I love seeing the barrage balloons.
Yep. They're so cool. There's much more photos of the Beach Battalion on Utah, of course.
Yeah. Here's a famous one.
I put that one in the video I just put out yesterday because I was talking about the chin straps. You can see that flying off there.
Right. Do you know the story of this one? Are these guys like taking cover or, you know?
I think the original caption says they're diving from a bomb that's falling.
Okay.
If I recall.
With these guys back here, it looks like they're getting down too.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's that same seawall.
Yeah.
Right. So again, this is all 2nd Beach Battalion. And you'll see behind these guys on the left, they have that big marker that's like a wooden post with support.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yep.
We like built one of those to put up at our event a couple years ago.
Yeah. They put those up at Omaha too, with the put E on easy sector, and D on dog sector. Yeah.
Yeah.
These are some 4th ID coming off.
Oh yeah, that's a famous one there too.
Right. I think I might have the one of the medics. Which one is this? That's NBB, isn't it?
That's not. Those usually the white arc is combat engineers.
Yeah, but these are light blue, right? Because they go all the way down to the end. Because the white ones are just like this, and they're very visible.
Right. You know, I don't. If they don't have the blue band, they're probably not Beach Battalion.
Hmm.
But I can't remember. There was a couple different ones that used different arcs. I think there was a medical company that used an arc
Okay.
that went all the way down like that, and then the engineers and maybe even the like some kind of Navy demolitions group had a
Right.
different arc. So there's a
Yeah.
ton of variation.
Because ESB have the white ones and they're really visible. Then they have the engineer insignia in the middle.
Right, right.
So wait a second, Mike, go back, zoom in. Their shoulder patches they're all wearing shoulder patches, but they're blanked out.
They're all scratched out. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
would NBB, Navy didn't wear shoulder patches, right?
I think the
Sometimes.
shoulder patch for the Naval Beach Battalion, the Amphibious Forces patch, wasn't authorized yet at the time of D-Day. So sometimes, like I haven't seen a photo of a guy wearing one in the Navy.
So what the
So
hell is this then? Because they're obviously wearing unit patches.
Well, I'll tell you what it is. It's redacted. So.
Well, I just said that. It's fucking, yeah. Thanks, Devin. Great fucking help you
I
are.
don't see anything. It's redacted.
Yeah, it's redacted.
Hopefully sometime we can track down the original negative and have it reprinted without it being censored. That would
Yeah.
be-
So why would they have the loop on their helmet if they're Army?
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen a number of photos, some colored ones, some Technicolor or Kodachrome ones of those guys with those semicircles that go all the way from end to end, and they're like a light blue color. I don't know what unit they are though.
So
Yeah,
would it be engineers then, like you said earlier?
I would guess these guys are engineers. You do see a lot of engineers that have just the arc without the ESB like crest on there.
Yeah.
So that's my guess, is that they're engineers.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
Again, spearheading D-Day, great chapter about that.
I'm
And
gonna have to get it.
the engineers too. They also have some good breakdowns of the helmets and everything.
Yeah. Like this guy wearing his goggles here.
Oh yeah, the M43 goggles.
Yeah, the ones that are like
Yeah.
they're like a red or green tint. Yeah.
They're cool. And then you got the medic on the right in his yoke suspenders.
Yep. Now this is interesting. I've seen some of these off of Utah Beach where they take the gas mask bag and hang it kind of off their shoulder like that.
Yeah, that seems to be. There's a bunch of ways you could wear them. You see them on the leg, on the chest, on the
Right.
side like that.
Yeah.
And then I think the 4th ID usually wore them on their back.
Oh, okay.
You see them oftentimes like they kind of strapped it over their haversack and wore those
Right.
straps like a backpack.
Because notice here, like, because it's like off to the side, and then we just saw some other photos where it was the same thing. See how he has it like that?
Yeah, it seems like that was common with the Beach Battalion guys.
Mm-hmm.
And if I had to guess, it's because in these pictures, I don't know if they landed with them like that, but they
Right.
had to keep them with them, like on their person for a certain amount of time after the landing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that was probably more comfortable than having it on your chest or on your leg or your back. This, you could just kind of sling it over your shoulder like a
Yeah.
satchel.
Yeah.
You see one of those guys with the arc back here
Oh, yep.
in the helmet.
Yep,
And
for
there's
sure.
another one right on the right edge of the picture too.
Yep, right there.
Yeah.
The yoke. That's so cool.
The yokes. Yeah, we use that in Reveille for our BAR gunner.
Oh, and he's got his little life preserver belt on still.
Yeah, that's May.
Yep.
Yeah,
So does this guy too.
That's May West. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So that must have been just shortly after the landings.
I would guess so, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a knocked out KWK 38 in a ring stand.
Well, they're pointing it the wrong way. God. No wonder it got knocked out.
That's why they lost.
Yeah.
But this is a common thing though with Germans where they would put chicken wire over these to put camouflage nets and shit over it. And
Well, also you can't throw a grenade through chicken wire. Just saying.
well, that's also a thing. Yeah, that's also a thing. But
Yeah, but chicken wire is not going to stop the fragmentation.
That's all right.
Or the concussion, but yeah.
Mhm. See the photo again. There's some
Oof.
some bad shit. Then this is that same area with that seawall again. That shit they would lay down so vehicles could drive on the beach.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
That guy's cool bicycle. He brought his bicycle with.
Yeah.
Chain's still good.
I was like, yeah, he's ready to go.
This is a good picture too that shows the German barbed wire, how fierce it was. So they have barbs like every inch.
Well, that's what we were talking about. I think on a bunch of live streams we were talking about, like, because the modern like barbed wire you see in the United States is like
pasture wire.
it's like
There's like
one
barb
barb
every 6 to 12 inches.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like whatever. And this shit's every fucking inch.
Yep, look at that.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've ever seen that done correctly in a movie.
Nope. Nope.
I had never even thought of that.
Yep.
That's so interesting.
It'd be a good video for you to do because that was a First World War thing because barbed wire used to be made like that, and it's like you cannot just grab this shit and like pull it over and like get it out of the way. No. You grab that shit, you're gonna get nailed.
Yeah.
Well, and the barbs too, they're 4-pronged. They have
Exactly.
4 things sticking out.
They're not like the U.S. where it's only 2 prongs.
2 prongs and it's every 6 inches or so.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah, but even that shit's not going to be fun to body breach.
yeah.
No, I mean, but like, so imagine this
I've body breached concertina wire in training, and that wasn't fun.
no, and this shit's 10 times worse.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, like it was not meant to. You put that up, it's going to stop infantry pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like when the people put the American chicken wire on the German helmets, and it's like, it's way too big.
No, the problem is it's too fucking small. Grab that helmet behind you really quick.
Mike is the one who's actually made the accurate ones.
Yeah. So War Wisdom. Check this out.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a guy in Europe who makes this by hand, and
Because the American chicken wire is not the right.
no,
size.
it's not the right gauge or size or whatever. And
So cool.
yeah, and it's only in Northern Europe that they do that. So like basically Normandy, they started doing that because their nets and everything kept getting fucked up because of the hedgerows and the vegetation. So like we'll just use chicken wire. So when you see something in like Italy and everything, like it's like that wasn't really there. They use wire and stuff. Like they would put wires in their helmets down there.
Right.
But like the actual chicken wire was a Normandy onward on the northwestern front thing.
That's really neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll show you. I'm not going to share my screen, but I'll hold up my phone. That's us recreating that photo with our
Nice.
Oh, nice.
That is
That's
fucking
badass,
cool.
dude.
And that's in the let me see. If you see in the corner the big 6, that's one of those big markers.
Yeah, so the ships can see through the binoculars or the telescope.
Mike, can you make that?
Right.
Mike, can you make his camera bigger so we can actually see that? So people watching can actually see
oh
it?
shit! I can just pull. Yeah, if you want to do that one more time.
Super high tech. Hold up my phone to the camera.
Boomer.
All right.
It's terrible too because it's not like mirrored. So I think I'm moving it to the left and it goes to the right.
Yeah, no, it's all good. We can see
It's
it.
good.
But
Yeah.
I'm on the ground there with the handy talkie.
Nice.
Lazy,
That's
lazy, laying down on the fucking job.
You guys
Right.
got a lot more
Typical
head
Navy.
to make a throne that good. Come on now.
Typical Navy laying around when everybody else is actually doing the real work.
and we have the same. So here I am wearing the patch. We often wear it.
Oh, okay. So they could have been wearing that patch. Okay, yeah, because I've seen that before.
Also, we usually wear that. Like our group likes to wear it because that's what the veterans identify with and stuff.
Oh,
We
yeah.
have some Beach Battalion veterans who would come and stuff. Realistically, on their combat jackets, like on D-Day, they probably were not wearing that. But we usually wear it around camp and stuff.
Yeah, no, I got you. I get that 100%.
Yeah.
It's,
But it's also hard to tell because the patch was identical to the combat engineer patch, except different colors.
right.
Sometimes in the black and white photos, it's like, is that guy?
So with that photo, it's
telling
like
apart.
it could be either one. Even if it wasn't redacted, it could be either one.
Right. But usually it seems like the Navy wasn't wearing that patch much. Like it wasn't really officially authorized until after D-Day.
Yeah,
From
that
what
makes
I found at least.
Yeah, that's the thing. In World War I, like people think that people wore unit patches before the armistice.
Hell no, that was a parades thing
Mm.
after the war.
It was after the armistice, and they're like in country in occupation duty, and they're like, "Well, the British have unit patches. Let's start making our own." And then, bam.
I mean, I wish it was basically just like colors and shapes. It wasn't really like.
No, the Brits still use their flashes, like their unit flashes. They still use them to this day.
Yeah.
We use
Not
our
on
unit
their
patches.
field uniforms.
Yeah, they do.
Not in World
Bull-
War One.
Well, from the Somme on, they did.
Yeah.
So what the fuck?
Not most of the time, and even then, you don't see it that often.
No,
I served with Brits in Iraq who were wearing unit patches.
Yeah.
No, we're
not
not
in
talking-
World War One.
no, he's being a pedantic fuck right now.
That's
And-
all he can be. That's what he is.
I'm sorry. I'm just a Commonwealth guy who knows about the Commonwealth stuff.
You're a Canadian who knows how to do a war crime a day to keep Geneva away.
Right. There's a reason why those rules exist. Somebody had to do it first. Okay.
So the point being is,
It's not a checklist.
I was giving the
It can
fucking
be.
Brits credit,
Yeah.
and you had to shit on that, even though you love the Brits. 'cause
No,
you're half
I don't
Brit.
like the Brits.
Yeah, well, fuck you. Yes, you do. You're lying.
Mm.
You're lying.
Like French Canada. It's the best Canada in the land.
I mean, if you're French Canadian, yeah,
Jake, let's just not ever fucking do that again.
that's a good song. Tune, okay. But like to be
I-
fair,
I got-
couldn't
I
even
got a
get-
buddy who used to do World War II reenactment who is French Canadian.
Oh, that sucks.
And he's a ginger.
Ooh.
There's a dude, like, really quick story, little anecdote is like, there's a dude that I used to know. He's from Nova Scotia, and he used to come down for World War I days at Rockford. And
Yeah.
he would do the Nova Scotian Highlanders, and he'd wear a kilt, right? A combat kilt. And I'm like, oh, skirt boy, how you doing? Good to see you again. I haven't seen you in a couple of years. And he's like, go fuck yourself, you fucking whatever, doing the Nova Scotian accent. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, just keep wearing your fucking skirt and telling me you're a man. Yeah, good shit. And it was hilarious. But no, his kit was pretty freaking cool, man. Like, it was awesome. But he would fly down with his rifle internationally. He had a short Lee, and he was like, he'd fly down there. He'd be like, oh, I'm going hunting or whatever, and they let you do it.
Oh
But
my
he'd fly
god.
down, he'd fly down with his rifle, and he'd just carry that thing around and then go and pop blanks and do his thing. And he's like, I'm like, yeah, you're wearing a fucking skirt. It's a kilt, and I'm like, it's a fucking skirt. And we just go back and forth. It was hilarious, but. Yeah, no, those are fun times. But no, he did a really good job of the Nova Scotian Highlanders in World War One.
Like, yeah, they wore their kilts longer than anyone else.
They did, and then they were like, yeah, well, gas is a thing, so let's wear breeches or trousers
Yeah.
rather.
It makes sense. They're real big into sodomy in Nova Scotia, so the kilt gets
Well,
easier.
yeah.
So,
Well,
Because sheep can hear zippers.
Well, he goes, we marked the ones that kick with an X.
Yep.
And I was like, we're good. Yeah. No, he
And
fucking,
Wisdom sitting there wondering what he got himself into.
well,
I knew what I signed up for.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't make any freaking promises. I said we're a bunch of fucking nerds who sit around there. It's very informal. We shoot the shit, except it's public.
for sure.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's
It's not
it.
often I get to talk about Beach Battalion stuff and anyone actually cares. So this is great.
Oh
Have you
no!
learned how big an M1 Garand magazine actually is?
Mike, you'll have to shoot him a complimentary Discord link.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, well, I can definitely do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just fun. Like,
Anybody else has to subscribe to Mike on Patreon at the $5 tier.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Link in the description.
That's
Yes.
not true. I didn't have to do that.
well,
That's
you're a
because
friend,
you're
a friend of
gay.
the channel. That's what we call it.
I mean, I wouldn't
friend
go
of the
that
channel.
far. No,
I had to buy his OnlyFans. He didn't make you guys do that to get on
Shut
here?
up! Hey, all right, okay, cool, good stream. I'm gonna go now. Don't-
Combat cuddles are supposed to stay private.
yeah.
Jesus Christ, you're just fucking got mental issues, got an OnlyFans. You're fucking telling everybody everything about me. What the fuck is going on here?
Combat Cuddles. Is that the name of your OnlyFans?
Yes.
Like, I'm gonna fucking. I should do that and like. Well, here I'll show you something, Royal Wisdom. I'll show you a fucking Christmas card that was made.
Oh, I know what you're
Oh,
gonna
I
show.
want to see
Well,
it.
Mike, I
Oh
keep
yeah, it's
telling
fine.
you,
Yeah.
Mike,
I'm
I
gonna
keep
show it
telling
on
you, you need to diversify your content platforms. So you could make an OnlyFans, call it content combat cuddles, and then just reproduce all your regular
Yeah, put all
YouTube
your
stuff
normal
over
kind
there.
Hey, Jake, really quick, 2 words. Shut the
Not
fuck
good.
up.
That's more than true. Your mental illness is showing.
Where the fuck is the
Well, Devin, you know where Mike went to high school. You know he doesn't know how to count.
That's fair. He's got an American education that shows.
where in the fuck is it?
I'm
Is it in
surprised
my-
you don't have that thing on speed dial. Well, I mean, it's the first picture of your OnlyFans. Just go there.
I can't log in right now. I'm banned.
Oh,
Shane, combat cuddles.
weird.
Cuddles.
Oh, there it is. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
there it is. Throw it up
All
there.
right. So this is a card, a Christmas card that somebody made for me a while back. And yeah, there it is.
Yep, I remember that.
I love it.
With a bunch of
Is that your profile picture?
well, it was at one point, but I'm like, hey, people have to pay for this shit. Right now, only 25 people are watching, but the ones who are watching
Hey, Daniel.
are they get a free sample,
hug?
taste of the OnlyFans. Got about $5,000 worth of guns sitting behind me, and then a fucking Jennings 22 in my hand.
That's great.
Yeah, so I mean, that's the kind of quality content you're going to get with my OnlyFans if you can find it.
For sure. We got to go out to reenactment now, too, now that I finally got my Canadian battle dress all set, so I can finally do Canadian World War II.
Oh, nice.
Emphasis on the dress.
That was the last thing I did. I don't have a kilt. I'm not from fucking Nova Scotia.
No, those are skirts.
I have regular pants. I'm from regular Canada.
Yeah, I mean, they were at, I guess, the Normandy landings.
Yes, they were. A whole beach themselves. It was
I
great.
mean, but really,
They had to put the Canadians in between the two British beaches. That way the Canadians wouldn't get lost.
No, they had to do it so that way they could, it was the buffer of the mixed country.
Devin, the Canadians only get 15 seconds of screen time in the longest day, okay?
I know. They don't get any credit for shit. It's fine.
Right.
We don't need it.
so they really didn't do much, is what you're saying.
I mean, we declared war on Japan before America did, and we didn't even get our boats bombed.
We were still trying to sell them stuff though. That's the difference.
Well, also, you guys were trying to hash out which 5 guys were going to make the money before the president said the word. So,
Yeah, exactly.
talking to you, Henry Ford.
Whoa, we're getting real fucking deep on this bitch.
Yeah. This is going to end up on the news. This is going to end up on the front page of KSN.
Henry Ford is one of the few people in America that actually got a personalized, Nazi thing from Adolf Hitler, one of the gold
That's good. Now the stream's gonna get
Pins?
fucking pulled.
that was your Nazi party member pins.
Right. Yeah. That you wear on
Yeah,
your lapel.
Henry
Yeah.
Ford was the only one, American guy that got a gold one. Yeah, before World War II started. It was 1937 or 8.
Well, that was, to be fair, that was right as he was getting Man of the Year from Time Magazine.
Man.
So, I
Did
mean,
Did he keep it after the war broke
Yeah,
out?
they actually have it on display, I think, in Detroit at the Ford Museum. They actually have his gold Nazi. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So,
He could have gotten 2 more Jews for that.
all right.
Maybe 1.
oh my God,
Great Schindler's List reference. I love it.
fucking savages up in this
But
bitch.
it's Charles Lindbergh got a silver one. There was a lot of people in America that actually got because they were big supporters of the Nazi thing before they did all
How
the
the
bad
fuck
stuff.
did we get on this?
Oh.
That was really good, Jake.
Jesus Christ. I mean,
Yeah, so if you ever go to Detroit, it's worth a look. You get to see Henry Ford's fucking Nazi pin.
I'm gonna take it.
Go for it.
yeah, good luck.
Gonna be my Nazi pin.
Jesus.
Well, all you got to do is just wait for Ford to go bankrupt because they don't know how to make EVs and nobody's buying their trucks.
I mean, to be fair.
See, that's your catchphrase, Devin. Fair. To be fair.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Can't argue with a good point.
Yeah.
I thought his catchphrase was, "Do you need better maple syrup, eh?"
Nothing.
You and that goddamn maple syrup, man.
I mean, sorry, when America starts having real maple syrup, I mean,
what okay, so where was it? What is your opinion on maple syrup?
Oh boy, here we go.
I like maple syrup.
see?
Okay,
Who doesn't?
I don't.
It's good
I
shit.
gotta say, best use of maple syrup is maple old fashioned. Like you make an old fashioned, and
Oh my
instead of
God.
simple syrup, maple syrup in there.
It's amazing.
Beautiful.
Real maple
sounds
syrup, not
good.
like the fucking corn syrup shit they force feed Americans, right?
What they
Yeah.
call pancake syrup or table syrup. is not
Table
maple
syrup, yeah. No, but you're talking legit fucking. Okay, so who makes a better maple syrup, Canada or Vermont?
I don't
Oh,
I don't
that's
know that
fighting
I've-
words.
No.
sampled enough maple syrup to have a opinion on that.
He's not a maple syrup enthusiast, okay?
I'm not a connoisseur.
So that company in Vermont that does make most of the U.S. maple syrup, 2/3 of their trees are actually in Canada.
Hey, Devin, Zeno just said, we too have maple syrup. But then again, we have more than one road.
That's
Oh,
you know that's fair.
Can't argue a good point.
Also, it's impossible to get lost. You either take Highway 1 east or west, and that gets you everywhere.
Okay,
Okay.
so where was I? Okay, for your old fashioned, what is your liquor of choice?
Oh, don't be a damn
No,
Wisconsin.
no,
Oh,
shut up.
all right.
Shut the fuck up, Devin.
All right.
I asked
I
him.
have a strong opinion on this.
Okay,
If you're going bourbon in an old fashioned, which I usually do, I like rye. Don't get
Same.
me wrong.
Rye is
But
a
if you're
good-
going bourbon, I have like a bourbon that I always keep around just for mixing purposes. That is the best bang for the buck, in my opinion. Any guesses?
no, you lost me at bourbon.
Oh,
Maker's
okay.
Mark.
Okay.
Carry
sorry.
on, carry on.
Yeah.
No, it's the Evan Williams bottled in bond.
Yeah, that's a good one. It's a good bourbon.
Oh, you
It's-
guys are bonding.
It's kill. It's like the highest level cheap bourbon that you can get,
Yeah.
and it's perfect for mixing.
At least it isn't
And
military.
I'm very
special.
passionate about
You
it.
make a fucking old fashioned with bourbon.
To be fair, Wisconsin's the only fucking
Hey,
state that does it.
excuse me for a second, more wisdom. Shut the fuck up. So,
The only way to make an old fashioned is with brandy.
No,
thank
it's
you,
not. That's
thank you,
retarded.
thank you.
That's
With
Wisconsin.
brandy?
Yeah,
Brandy
that's
old
Wisconsin.
fashioned.
Oh my god.
I have never had an old fashioned with brandy.
Oh, you've never had an old fashioned. Then you've had what they want to call an old fashioned.
Mike, we're gonna have to go on a kidnapping trip.
Well, no, I don't want to drive that far, but like, I'm fucking lazy. I don't like to do that. But like, oh god,
I got Mike. to
Shut
work
the
more
fuck up.
today
shut
than
the
he
fuck
has in
up.
the last
Shut the
month.
fuck up. You stop because I know exactly what the fuck he's gonna say.
Just
You're
put his
being-
ball gig back in his mouth.
Freaking Laurel and Hardy up here.
No. So a brandy old fashioned made with at least Christian Brothers. At least.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shut the fuck.
It's not
Shut
even
the
good
front
brandy.
door.
I said at the very minimum,
Okay.
if you make a
What's
brandy
the go-to brandy then that you use? What was the go-to?
Christian Brothers, but like that's
Yeah.
because it was cheap, but it was again, like he said, it's a higher end of the lower end. It's not bad. It's
mid shelf.
If you're mixing it, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And you with the aromatic bitters, the orange peel. Do you put orange peel in yours?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Part
good.
of the drink.
Well, I'm fucking making sure he put fucking bourbon in an old fashioned. Like, what
Yeah,
the fuck?
like how they made it.
I have to be fucking sure, man.
Yeah, like how
Oh,
they
I'm gonna-
originally made it.
I'm
Like how the oldest recipe says to do it. I'm just saying. I usually put
Bunch
rye.
of, bunch of
I can't
uncultured.
comment on this because I don't drink things like this.
Oh wait, no shit. Never mind. That was just I was just
That was a
worry.
letter
Letter
opener.
opener.
it was my vape.
That was a letter opener.
Yeah,
Just Mike's mental illness showing. Don't
This
worry.
is butterfly opener. Yeah, or butterfly. Yeah.
No, it's just my vape. It was
It's
just
for opening butterflies.
it was the case for my vape. My vape was charging.
I love how I won that and I didn't even have to move.
You haven't moved this entire time. I'm gonna
Yeah.
scroll through this whole thing, and you're just gonna be sitting here like that the whole time.
It's going to be Mike
That's-
making a fool of
That's
himself.
because he's actually sitting on a cleaning rod.
Am I? No,
Yeah.
I don't know why
Now
that
you moved.
He wouldn't feel it. He was sitting on a cleaning rod. Are you
Yeah.
kidding? He'd be like, "No, I need at least a fucking 3-inch diameter wooden dowel to feel anything."
Yeah, I mean, I'm here for combat cuddles.
When he fucking farts, it just sounds like a fucking.
Combat cuddles.
I'm here for combat cuddles. That's the real reason.
If I made an OnlyFans and called it Combat Cuddles, I wonder how many fucking idiots would subscribe to that.
Blows up overnight. Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
be like-
you'd be able to retire.
That would be cool. But I have to hold myself out.
You could
And
just do like a calendar.
You already did. You joined the army.
That's fair. Yeah, but you didn't do any gay stuff for some reason, weirdo.
Just conceal your face with one of your gas masks. You'll be okay.
Yeah.
Jesus.
What happens in the field stays in the field. You should know this, Devin.
And it's also
I'm well aware.
It's
Devin's
also-
told me some shit.
There's some stuff. I've seen some stuff.
it's only gay if you smile. It's only gay if you smile. That was our policy. It's only gay if you smile. And
Hey, when it's fucking cold and wet out, you don't give a shit.
Dude, I've literally cuddled with another freaking man, and I'm like, I don't like you, you don't like me, but we have to survive tonight, man.
It's got to be warm.
But we'll be over us. Cuddled, and we stayed warm, and we were good to go.
That's not gay. That's just living. That's fine.
Yeah, but we didn't
So-
smile. That's the thing. Is we didn't
There's
smile.
a difference between survival and romance.
Yeah.
Yes. And then we were good to go the next day, and everybody else was miserable, and we're like, well, not too bad for cuddling. But yeah.
And
Let's see.
everybody else was fucking miserable because they were all cold and frigid.
Yeah.
They were all
not comfortable enough with their sexuality to be like, all right.
Oh, they also couldn't read the weather. And I'm like, because this kid that I got paired up with, he's like a city boy from Virginia. And we did not get along the entire time in basic. And this is our FTX that's at the end. And he goes,
Who had tents?
The Air Force?
Shane? Who had tents? We didn't have fucking tents.
we had tents when we got back, like a year after we got back, we got issued tents.
And nobody used them, did they?
No, we did, for sure.
Oh,
We
wow.
had them, we fucking used them.
Wow.
I'm not gonna build a fucking hooch. It was a fucking tornado. And I'm like,
I'm surprised Zimmy let you use them.
well, he used one too.
Well, you know as well as I do that Zimmy did shit that he wouldn't let us do.
Yeah. Zimmy was it was a leader of ours, we'll just say. We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Nice with the very, very nice with the canteen cup.
Yeah.
Gotta stay on brand, you know.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah. Stay on brand. Oh, so
I live this shit.
speaking of Josh Murray, so which one did he restore for you? You gonna make it?
He needs the brandy in there.
Some of that
He's,
bourbon.
he's having a bourbon old
Brandy
fashioned.
in there.
If you would have put brandy in there, you wouldn't be choking.
I
He
just
would-
waterboarded myself trying to take a
Yeah.
sip.
Jesus, man.
It's not waterboarding if you use diesel.
Fair. Checks out. Hey, we invented that, by the way. You can't steal that.
You guys don't have enough diesel of your own. You had to borrow it from us.
We just weren't gonna fly it over there.
Oh yeah, nice.
That's a nice one, yeah.
This is the one.
Yeah.
Super nice. I'll pull the picture.
Josh, why are you not here in the stream? Your product is being showed off. Free advertising.
But that's this. I think I put a different leather strap on here
Nice.
because I moved. This one's kind of crappy, and I put the nice one on my other helmet for an event. But
Yep.
this one, it's an M2, so it has the D
Yep.
bails.
Oh yeah.
So I sent it to him to convert.
You'll see it. It's right there.
I see
that
it.
the one
For
that I
anybody
put on,
watching, the website is jmurrayinc1944.com.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
back when my page was much smaller, I reached out to them and said, like, hey, I'm working on a project to restore some helmets. Would you, if I send you one, will you restore it?
Fuck
And
yeah,
then
you-
if you send me the supplies, I'll also restore one and we can see how they both turn out. And I'll grab the one I did.
Did he do a better job?
Yeah, he did a much
Yeah.
better job.
There you go. 7th NBB.
This is 6th.
Oh, 6.
This
Sorry.
one's 6th. But it's got my name on the back, like
Yep.
C Company did. And then
Oh,
I
that's
have
cool.
Oh,
Yeah, the
on
6
the-
ones didn't have the number in the center. Yeah.
Right, they didn't. At least usually for
Right.
whatever reason. They usually either had their last name or USN on the back, depending on the group.
Okay.
But yeah, so I did this one.
Nice.
it's
Freaking
nice.
love that
I mean-
that navy band across. That's so cool.
Yeah.
It's cool, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's like a very specific. I remember when I
Yeah.
got into Beach Battalion, they gave me like a very specific like code for the color of
Yeah.
this.
Paint, yeah.
Yep.
So
100%. Yeah, like that looks fucking great, man.
thanks. Yeah, I like this one. My only regret is that I did it with a rear seam helmet.
Ooh.
Oh.
Here's the thing. Technically, it could have been there.
It could have been there, yeah.
Not likely, but it
Not
could have
like
Would have been there.
been.
right. But
Yeah.
To be fair, it probably wouldn't have had swivel bales either.
No, it
which
probably had
this
fit.
one does, so,
But whatever.
you know.
I mean, you can't win them all, and it looks good.
Yeah.
You know,
It'll pass.
And the only people who are going to actually give a shit are the pedantic fucks like the one sitting next to Mike.
for me, like, I'll be like, maybe a fixed bill, but like, we're all
Because nobody's going to look that fucking close.
really quick.
They will.
Here's
Except for
one
the
that,
pedantic fucks.
I mean, I don't know enough about American stuff to actually know.
Here's my M2 that Josh did for me.
Yeah, that looks great. He
It's-
always kills it though.
Dude, yeah, he just with the nice.
Josh has actually been on Friday Night Shites in the past.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He lives like a half an hour away from me.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so funny. I have some more helmets that I might be sending him soon. So
And I've actually invited him over to my place to do some shooting, but he hasn't taken me up on the offer yet.
He's a busy man making them helmets.
Yeah, he's a busy dude, but
Yeah.
he basically does the best work. I think there's one place in the UK that can match him, and he admits that, but it's also the shipping. It's so fucking expensive.
The customs.
In the US, Josh is probably the number
guy.
one
Yeah.
dude for him.
yeah.
Yeah, he's a cool dude too.
Both of mine, so it's
He's straightforward, man. He's a straight shooter. He says what he means what he says, and his work fucking reflects. You know, I've known about him since I was like fucking 11 or 12 when he first started, like in the early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
My one of my dad's friends got a helmet from him that was restored, and it was just beautiful. And I'm like, you know, like, oh my God. And then, you know, it's nice because I needed a bunch of shit done for Revet, right?
Mhm.
And I was like, I need a bunch of swivel bales converted to fixed bales. They're all front seams and everything, but like I need them. He was like, fine. And I'm like, I need it done by this time period. He goes, cool, I'll get it done.
done deal.
And I was like, okay. So I sent him like, what was it, 5 or 6 helmets?
Send
And
him a
then,
bunch, yeah.
It was a number of them.
and the liners too, like, because we had a bunch of shit liners, and it was just like, so he did all of those, and they were just fucking beautiful.
Looks so goddamn good in the movie.
Yep.
I hate when people are like, I send him his way, and he's like, everyone's like, he's so expensive. I'm like,
Do you
it's
know the
worth
work
it.
that goes into it?
Yeah, I was
though?
like, it's
Right.
worth it.
Holy shit! Like he sandblasts. He'll strip the whole thing, the liner and the shell.
He'll pound the fucking dents out of it.
Yeah, if you have them. Unless you say don't do that. But yeah, he'll pound the dents out. He'll make it look nice. He'll fucking. I mean, the finish is spot on.
It's gorgeous.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
And
then
if you're treating it as an investment, it's worth every penny.
Yep.
So
Oh yeah.
And yeah, it's just
Wisdom, have you seen Revet yet?
I haven't seen it. No.
free on YouTube. You can watch it.
yeah.
Yeah, it's free
Okay.
on YouTube.
Yeah, I'll definitely watch that.
Yeah, it's an hour and a half. It was
And
our
when
work.
you said it came out last year?
Yeah, August of last year. Yeah, but like we've been working on it since 2021, basically.
Mhm.
Cool.
Mike, do you want to post the link in stream chat?
Sure.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'll do that, and then
When are we gonna make Reveille 2?
probably not for a while, bud.
Oh, come
Reveille
on.
2 and Zio.
A lot of fucking work,
Yeah.
man. A lot of fucking work.
I could plan to be there longer, so that way stuff goes smooth.
Yeah, I'll post it in the
How'd you guys get involved with that production? Like,
Ask
Michael's the writer and director.
So it was my project because I went to film school. I'm a filmmaker. Like I went to film school for 4 years.
What is
And-
it, Mike?
What? Yes, I did. I went to film school, to film school at the film school. But
Super.
but anyway, so I'm a film guy, and I
thought you were a painter based on all the paint shit.
I'm an artist and a filmmaker
Okay.
and a amateur historian who likes history and shit like that, war history and shit.
And doesn't
So-
own anywhere near enough firearms.
No, I got to get there someday. I own some firearms.
He's got enough. He's got enough.
To be fair,
Yeah.
Mike doesn't own any guns either.
Yeah, I don't own any.
No, that's just a painting behind him.
They're all
Yeah,
plastic.
a mural.
Yeah.
Oh, I turned my head your way. You fucking shit yourself. Oh my god.
Right.
Oh, continue on,
I'm,
Mike.
surprised, I'm surprised he was able to get anything out with that 3-inch freaking dowel that's rammed up there.
Ugh.
Oh, he got it out all right.
But so yeah, I wanted to make this movie because I'm really passionate about war history, and I want to finally get my film career going. And I'm also a I'm pedantic, just like as we say about this sort of stuff. I want it to be right. And
Yeah.
I wrote that movie based on, a number of different things I had read. And then I was like, well, what's the next step to get this thing made? I'm like, get people who are into this shit, and then I finally reached out to Mike, and I had messaged Mike a little bit here and there. And he's like, all right, I'll take a look at your shitty script and tell you how shitty it is. And
Sounds like Mike.
He got back to me and he's like, you know what? I think this actually does have some potential. So then that's how we started to really talk about it. And then eventually brought in other people, obviously Devin got involved, and then, Myra, who we mentioned earlier. And it was this huge snowball effect of all these people. And then eventually, we went and shot the damn thing, which was insane, but it was a lot of fun. And it was great.
Yeah,
Awesome.
It was a lot of work, but we put as many details into the characters and the wardrobe and the movements and shit as possible. Like everything we threw at the fucking kitchen sink of all of our combined knowledge at it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say it's boring because it's not like a war movie per se. It's a movie it's a drama that takes place during a war.
Right.
Yeah.
And it basically captures how shitty and just awful it is to be there, just like sitting there.
Yeah, the mind fuck.
Yeah, the mind fuck of it all. It's not an action movie. It's not like those YouTube videos you see where guys are going around with airsoft guns and digital. We actually used actual bullets, like actual gunfire. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Devin actually got shot for real.
I did.
No, but
He's still here though.
he's okay. He healed up. But no, the shots,
all the
shots of
maple syrup.
the guns going off was live ammo. Not only live ammo, but wasn't it some of it
Some of it was
World War II ammo that had never been used?
No, yeah, it was a World War II German steel case SMK from 43.
Right.
Nice.
And so I had never had a problem with it. We didn't have a problem with it on set. Like it fired in the K98s. The G41, spoiler alert.
Yeah.
The G41 it fucked up in, but that was how it actually worked.
To be fair, the G41 sucks with a lot.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
We got that on camera.
What a piece of shit that thing was. But have you done any videos? Have you ever handled the G41?
No, I haven't.
Oh my God. There's a colossal piece of shit.
When I shot it out at the range, it was basically a bolt action rifle. You just have to work the action every time it shoots.
I assume, I'm trying to remember. There's two main versions, right? Made by, was it Mauser and Walter?
Yep. Mauser had the bolt on it because they were like, well, if there's a malfunction, you can use the bolt. The Walter version, which is the more popular and more produced version, did not have that. And so it's like, boom, boom. Oh no, it's on this side. You have to constantly.
It sucks.
Which one has the gas capture system at the end?
G41.
That's that one.
Do both versions? I thought one of them had they said the requirement was it had to have that, and I can't remember. There was something like one manufacturer did it and one manufacturer did it not what they said, but it worked a little better.
Yeah, that was Mauser was like, well, we need to have a gas system. They
didn't want them to drill a port in the barrel.
They didn't want
to lose velocity.
Oh yeah.
And they were like, yeah, but we need to because the op rod needs to have enough power. They're like, well, put this big fucking cone on the front that'll capture the gas. And that thing is such a hunk of shit.
Well, it's the same reason the M1 Garand with the gas trap thing. It was the same principle. They didn't want them to drill a hole in the barrel because you would lose velocity. So even though it's a negligible amount of velocity.
Well, to be fair, they didn't really know how to make a semi-automatic rifle at the time.
They did.
So.
And it was they had ideas and they were combining ideas and shit. But the Germans were hell bent on no drilling the fucking barrel.
Well, that's because the Germans are hell bent on being super precise on every fucking thing they touch to the point of being pedantic assholes.
On every screw, because we can do that.
Yeah, the German, they're pedantic as fuck. But the G41 was a steaming hunk of shit. And then they came out with the G43, which does have a drilled barrel and everything. And it's got which
was based off of a design that Walter tried and they showed, and they said they don't like the port in the barrel, but then ultimately they pretty much went with that to make the G43.
Maybe that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah,
When I was out at Doug's place last, we were just shooting guns for hours, and I got every took out everything I could. He had the K98 and the G43.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so I started rocking the K98. I'm like, God, this is so cool. I love this fucking rifle. And I was just shooting it over. And so finally I switched to the G43 and it was strange. It didn't feel.
It's very weird.
Yeah. It's
a
like
very weird rifle. It's cool.
Mhm.
But the recoil and the system, the way it works, it's very awkward.
Weird. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm like,
so overgassed.
Yeah.
well, I just like I can feel the bolt like just riding when I shoot. It's weird. And like with the M1, I don't have that problem. But
The M1
a semi-auto rifle.
The M1 will de-operate itself though if you get too hot of a load in it.
I haven't had that happen yet.
Yeah, people will run like 220 grain shit through there, and it's like, no,
Don't do that.
don't do that.
Yeah, it'll
for 150.
It'll pop the bolt carrier the bolt right off the op rod.
Yeah, and the G43 is kind of this. It's very finicky with ammo, but when it does run, it fucking runs well. The G41
Doesn't work.
It'll work half the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck is the point of having a semi-automatic rifle that you have to work as a bolt action?
I think
Use a K98.
didn't Brian say, because it was his rifle, didn't he say that like it hadn't fired since World War II or something?
Right. Yeah, and he had it cleaned, lubed, and everything was good.
Yeah.
And it's still fucked up
Right.
constantly. And, I mean, it would fire. It's not like it didn't work, but like it didn't work as bam, 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 10 rounds, and then fucking drop 2 chargers in there, reload. You know,
you can see
Chargers like you're British now.
Well, I say chargers.
Clips.
Well, you can see in Reveille when they're shooting, you can see Jonathan work the bolt numerous times when he's shooting.
Well, here's the thing: is we told because these guys fired before we did the live fire scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, cause there was one guy, and he's been on the stream as well, so I'll call him out. Remy, he had never fired a weapon in his life. He never fired a firearm, and he's in full kit, full German kit. And we're laying down, and he's like, so what do I do? And I'm like, okay, give me 5, timeout. I was just like, hey, we're good. And I'm like, here's what's gonna happen. It's gonna kick a little bit, but you can control it. And he's like, I was like, do you want me to fire 5 rounds just to show you what it looks like and what it sounds like? He's like, yeah. And so I just got up and I went, bam, 5 rounds, just bam. And he's like, oh my God. And I'm like, yeah, if I can handle it, you can handle it. I said, you'll be fine. And so we gave him the rifle, and then we were very, very, very fucking strict on where the rifles could point.
Yep.
Who had rifles in their hand, and then we cleared them after every single shot, which took a long time. But it's like, no, nobody's getting hurt today.
We're not Alec Baldwinning anybody.
That had just happened. Yeah.
And that had just happened.
I get. Sorry to interrupt. I got to jump off in just a minute here.
Yeah.
So if there's anything we want to wrap up or anything, I'm happy to stick on a couple more minutes, but I do have to run.
No, gotta get that Discord link to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll just email it to you. But
he's got to make a better old fashioned.
Yeah, you got to use brandy.
I'm about to go make an old fashioned right now, but I don't have any brandy. So
yeah, see, because he's doing it right.
Go down to the fucking liquor store, grab yourself a fucking $7.50 at Christian Brothers.
You don't need.
See, I don't know what state you live in, but here in Wisconsin, we have drive-through liquor stores for your convenience.
Oh, we don't have that. I'm in Ohio.
Yeah.
We don't have the luxury here.
You're in the Midwest, but you're not in the upper Midwest.
I mean,
Right.
Ohio's barely the Midwest.
It's almost the
Central
East.
time.
Yeah, they're in. Yeah,
bordering.
no, we were just there last summer for a film.
Go get mama.
Michael
Go
and
get
I.
mama.
That was fun. But we were down in way down south. We were in Lucasville, Ohio.
Okay.
So it's like way down by Kentucky, and it was fucking hot, man.
It was
Oh
hot.
yeah, I believe that.
Oh man, it was hotter than 2 rats fucking in a wool sock. It was not pleasant. But no, dude, it was awesome having you on here, man. Like again, your videos are good. Keep on keeping on, and like do a video about the barbed wire and whatever the fuck else we talked about.
I'll have to look into that more.
Yeah.
Wisdom. My whole thing is German coastal defenses. So like if you ever wanted to learn about that, you can always hit me up.
I appreciate that. And if you have any Beach Battalion questions,
I will be definitely hitting you up.
Hit me up. It was great meeting you all, and thanks so much for inviting me on. I had a great time.
Yeah.
Thanks for making such good content.
Yeah,
I appreciate that. You guys are too kind.
It keeps
Yeah.
me entertained while I'm driving
Thank
down the
you.
highway every day.
Yeah,
Thank
he's
you.
a trucker. He's one of those dudes.
Gotcha.
Logistics specialist.
See? Yeah. Come on,
Yeah,
get
what
it
a
right.
fucking douchebag. But yeah, anyway, no, this is just, you're welcome anytime. This is what we do. It's like it's
Every
basically
Friday, pretty much.
it's basically
Yeah.
we're sitting around like it would in person, but just on screens.
Sometimes we'll have
Yeah.
game stuff if you find one you like. So
Sometimes
Fridays
Devin is fondling his cats when they're
Yeah.
in heat.
I like that too.
Fridays are usually tough for me, so I will try to make it again, but it's just a tough time.
We
Friday
do Saturday night shites as well too. So
Sometimes Saturday. Yeah.
Yep. That could be better actually.
Then I could put on my I could actually dress up correct. We'd all dress up.
I felt a little underdressed when I joined, and you guys were all.
I was fucking with you. I was like, how fucking funny would it be? Like,
No,
if I were
said that.
Yeah, but I was like, I'll just put the jungle fatigues on, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna get the whole fucking kit.
Yeah,
Usually how it
That
goes.
was awesome.
World War II guys coming on. I'm like, you should put all your Vietnam stuff on, and we should just do Vietnam stuff.
Yeah.
Like, funny.
Yeah.
It's like,
I might go dig out my ACUs.
Ooh.
Thank you for your cervix.
I mean, to be fair, this is just my regular shirt. I wore this all day today. So.
All right, fellas, I'm gonna run. Thanks so much
All right.
again. I'll
Hey,
do
thanks,
it
man.
another time in the future for sure.
Oh,
I
for
had
sure.
a great
Yeah,
time.
Yeah, awesome. Keep
All
making
right.
good content, man.
Appreciate it. See you guys.
Yeah.
Later, dude.
Later.
And then there were three.
Yeah. I'm here too, idiot. Come on.
Nobody cares about you.
Yeah, nobody cares about you.
I mean,
fuck.
that's fair. That checks out. Nobody.
You're
cares.
you're just like a head hanging off Mike. I mean that's
Fair.
And not at a level that actually makes him feel good. So
That's fair.
So you just seriously just wore those BDUs all day?
I'm wearing like jeans, but yeah, I had the shirt on.
Okay.
No, BDU tops are amazing.
Yeah,
man. They're
it's
great.
just a good utilitarian shirt.
You get pockets because we did a lot of yard work and shit today, and
We did a lot of work today.
he probably even cut the cuffs off and re-sewed them up on the upper
No,
sleeve.
I actually rolled.
No, he
these
rolled
out.
them
Not
right.
even rolled.
he rolled them
correct.
right. No, he rolled them correctly.
If those were cut, he looked like a member of the Village People or something. I mean, I don't think I'd want
I
to see
thought he
that.
was.
No, Jake, he rolled them right like you always wanted to, but you could never do.
Years of practice, baby.
Well, I was never allowed to. That's the difference.
That's fair.
Yeah, I wasn't either. Oh my god.
Because for some reason, all of the first sergeants in the 32nd Infantry Brigade have this like if their soldiers are comfortable, they're gonna have a fucking hemorrhage or some shit.
And they could sense it from a mile away. And because in 2011 we were at AT, we were doing the mount site, and we were assaulting the village and everything like that down at McCoy. And I had rolled it was so fucking hot. It was in fucking July. So I rolled my sleeves up to about not even all the way up to my elbow, just to here, right? Just to get some form of relief because we're wearing the fucking IBA and all of our shit. And then they're like, boom, there's an explosion. They're like, you're the casualty. And so I'm the casualty. I'm like, fuck. Of course, I'm the biggest guy. So guys dragged me off the fucking field. And then, Zimmy's there. And he goes, why the fuck are your sleeves rolled up? And I'm like, because I'm fucking hot. And I'm wearing all this shit. And I'm running around. I'm clearing a fucking entire fake village.
See, now what you did wrong is you should have rolled your pants up to above your knees, but left your sleeves the way they were.
No, that would have been even. He goes, oh, you just think you can roll your sleeves up? Have you ever read Arrow 670-1? I'm like, yes, I have. And I'm getting as I'm getting dragged, because we're trying to get out of this thing. He's screaming at me. He's like, that's pathetic. You got your sleeves rolled up. Who does that? You're an infantryman. Roll your sleeves down. And I'm like, okay.
I guess it doesn't matter. My pasty white arms gave my position away. That's why I'm a casualty. That's what you should have said.
I should have said that, but
Yeah.
I was so fucking mad, and I was
You
just
gotta be
tired.
more pedantic and snappy. Come on.
Well, yeah, that did not work with our leadership.
Yeah, you just
Shit.
keep doing it though, and eventually they're like, I hate you so much, but you're right.
Yeah, well,
So,
at that point, it wasn't worth the fucking argument. And
that's fair.
so I rolled the sleeves down. I said, okay, cool. When I go down as a heat cat, you gonna be there, First Sergeant? And then he just walked away.
To be
Yeah.
fair, you're already a captain.
And that motherfucker never wore fucking plates in his IBAs.
I know, and I was wearing front and back and side.
Yeah.
Plates.
He never wore a fucking plate. You could tell because his fucking beer gut was deforming his fucking IBA.
Yeah, it was like, yeah. fucking douchebag. But
It's like he was smuggling 2 kegs in.
yeah, and he was like, "Oh, you're young and fat." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm young and fat, but I can still sprint through this fucking town and clear that fucking entire 2-story building."
Why are
And-
we trying to?
I'll race you down there, Zimmy. We'll race down there.
yeah, well, that I didn't know what to fucking like to say. Like, he just bitches at me about like my fucking sleeves. I'm like, "Are you shitting me? Like, do you not have anything better to do?" And the answer was no.
No.
But it's like, again, hey, how about this? Shut the fuck up and let us do our job.
You should have just like plate checked him right in the stomach. That would have been funny.
Yeah, with my fucking M4 just
Yeah.
wham right in the fucking gut.
Safety kill.
Let me ask this: was there ever any time where it's like some, NCO or officer was just being so fucking stupid that you just would go off on him even though he outranks you?
Nope.
No, you
I
just
did
throw a
once.
hand grenade at
I
him
did
while
once.
in the field, and-
You did once?
I did once.
Nice.
I told Mike this story. It was in Iraq one night. We had to do a personnel transfer. We had to take 3 guys from the VBC and take them up to like Fob Grizzly or some shit way north of Baghdad, northeast of Baghdad somewhere. I was driving a Cougar. It wasn't even my squad's Cougar, but we had to basically spool up the whole platoon's worth of trucks, and I was driving one of the 6x Cougars, and this particular truck, the thermal drive camera didn't work, and the guy who was assigned to drive that truck all the time never wrote it up on the PMCS, so it never got fixed. And so we're driving down this, we cross over the fucking Euphrates, and we're driving down this fucking dike, and it's like moon dust. It's the middle of the summer. It hasn't rained in like 4 months, and this dike it's like driving across the surface of the moon with a number of craters and potholes and just the dust that's getting kicked up. I've got zero visibility beyond the end of the hood of the truck. Well, first of all, it's hard enough to see out the front of a fucking Cougar because the windshield is 6 inches thick, and it's angled at like 45 degrees, so you can't see out it at all. And I'm like the 3rd or 4th truck in line in the convoy. I can't see fucking shit. Every other truck has a functioning thermal drive camera except for the Cougar that I'm in. And the PL, first lieutenant, or not the PL, the XO, the company XO, first lieutenant, is sitting in the passenger seat. He's the TC, and he's yelling at me to keep up with the convoy. And I'm like, I can't see fucking shit, sir. Like you're looking out the windshield too. You can see what I can see. I can't see fucking shit. We couldn't even see fucking taillights. Like every single truck was lit up like the fucking 4th of July with the number of lights that we had on the outsides of them. And every white light that we had pointing forward, we had pointing out the sides, pointing out the back. We were in a fucking cloud of brown. Like I couldn't even see the fucking rhino. You know those black boxes that hung out on the front of the trucks. They had 2 glow plugs in them just to trigger heat sensing IEDs. Like I couldn't even see the fucking rhino mounted to the front of the truck. It was that much of a brownout outside the truck.
Wow. And so that's when you were just like, shut the fuck up, I can't see anything.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And we're driving through craters and potholes. Well, not like bomb craters, but just like craters in the road surface.
Yeah.
That are like 2-3 feet deep. Here, let me see if I can pull up a picture of a Cougar.
Those are the RG-33s, right?
No, this was the Cougar, not the RG.
Did you guys have the Caymans too?
No, we didn't have Caymans.
So the Cougar. Oh, that was the Cougar was the big.
The Cougar was the one that the Marines used more often.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The 6. Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
No, that's a bad.
There were so many fucking models they were using.
But yeah, they had to keep coming up with new shit to counteract new shit.
Let me share this. Present.
You guys rolled RG33s a lot, though, right?
Yeah, we had RG33s, but I wasn't listening. I wasn't licensed on them.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Those. Okay.
Yeah,
I saw those a lot when I was working for the military.
Yeah. Actually, I don't even think that's. Yeah.
That's
that
like
one's pretty
on it. Yeah, it's just.
Yeah, that one's in pretty rough shape.
Yeah.
Here's that one that I was showing you earlier, Mike. This is a lot more like the configuration we had. Yeah,
Yep.
that's the configuration we had.
Yep.
And those things are fucking sweet. I love those trucks. The only problem is for the driver, there was nowhere to put your left leg below the knee because of the angle of the hull.
I should have picked up on what you said, because I do remember that being on that base and seeing those kind of vehicles and thinking, man, those windows are just thick as hell. Yeah.
Yeah. And we had a Rhino mounted to the front bumper.
Yeah,
it stuck out. It stuck out like 10 feet from the front of the truck. Couldn't fucking see it from the driver's seat. It was just fucking brown out the whole time. The gunner is up there bitching because he can't fucking breathe because of the amount of dust.
Yeah,
that poor guy.
But no, those things were the best fucking trucks ever. Those things could do 70 fucking miles an hour, 75 miles an hour.
That's fucking moving. Those are heavy.
Yep.
Yeah, they're like 28,000 pounds.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like a freight train hitting something.
Those things weigh what my semi weighs empty.
Yeah.
And the air conditioner systems in those things, oh my god! If the air conditioner unit in the back of the truck is in the far back left corner, and if you sit in the seat right in front of it, you will be freezing your ass off when you get out of. You will be shivering when you get out of that truck.
So when you guys, because you guys were rolling in a lot where I was at during the summer, like in July and August when it was really fucking hot. So you guys would be sitting back there in an ice box, then get out when it was 140 something plus degrees.
Yeah, yeah.
You poor fuck.
Cool.
Yeah, we would get out and we would be shivering because of how fucking cold we were sitting.
And you get outside, and you're just like literally roasting in your body.
Yeah,
shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were just standing out there like, what the fuck's going on with you guys?
Yeah, like the air conditioners in those things could get the interior of the truck down to like 60 degrees.
Jesus.
Wow.
We did not want to get out of our trucks.
Dude.
Dude. Go figure, you fucking pampered pieces of shit. Because I had to be out in the fucking heat for fucking most of the day.
It really sucked when you were the gunner. Because the gunner, you got half of your body inside the truck freezing, and you got half your body outside of the truck wearing body armor and roasting.
Yeah, dude. Iraq. Here's the thing: is I'd be like, let's put the AC at 85 fucking degrees, and we'll be good.
Yeah,
that's what I would have fucking done, because there's like I told you that story about Dan and I, like we were out there in, I think it had to have been like July or early August when it was really fucking hot during the day, like 140 plus, because the wet bulb maxed out at 140 and it was maxed out and it was fucking hotter than goddamn. And so anyway, we're sitting there and it's like 2 a.m. We'd just gotten off of our, little shift, if you want to call it that. And then we're out there smoking a cigarette and we're in fucking PTs, like sweats. We're wearing our beanie caps and we're out there like it's 80 something degrees and we're just like,
yep,
smoking cigarettes. And this new unit had just gotten there and they're getting off the buses and they're like pouring sweat.
And like, you guys are freezing.
And I'm like, and they go, oh my God, it's so fucking hot. And then we're sitting there looking at him. We're like, oh, those poor fucks. This one guy comes up to us. He goes, how the fuck, why are you guys wearing that? Aren't you hot? And we're like,
not really, no.
You don't know what hot is. I'm like, give it about 12 hours and you'll understand what the fucking hot is. And he's like, what? And I'm like, just trust me. And then, yeah, it was like, look at that day. These new guys are walking around and they're like, just fucking dying. And I'm like, yeah, we've been in this since fucking May. Like, we're used to it, unfortunately.
The worst I saw was in 2006, as far as temperature swings. 2006 on my first deployment. I was in Kuwait, right on the Kuwait-Iraq border, right by the town of Safwan. And during this, there was 1 week in the summertime where the wind decided to change direction. Instead of coming off the Persian Gulf, it came off of Anbar. Instead of coming off of Anbar, it turned around and it came off of the Gulf.
Humid.
So the humidity spiked from like 20-30%. And for that week and a half, it was 80% humidity. And the ambient air temperature was 125 degrees.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. Oh, fuck yeah.
Just really brewing up some number 2 stew down there, you know.
And so, like, you know, the wall thermometer clocks that you can buy at the hardware store, we had one of those in our QRF staging area. That thing was saying 155, 160 degrees.
In the sun, yeah.
Which, that was in the shade.
That's not good.
That was in the shade.
Yeah.
We didn't do fuck all for that week and a half. But so, the official temperature recorder system thing that the medics operated, it said it's only 115 out. It's not that hot. Yeah, well, it doesn't feel like 115. It feels like 100. It feels like 165.
Well, yeah. When people ask like what does the heat feel like? I'm like, preheat an oven to 250 degrees.
And then stick your face in it.
Face in it and put a fucking hairdryer in front of your face on full blast. That's what it feels like.
Yeah. But so it was 100. So it felt like 165 degrees during the day.
Yep.
It was still dropping down into the low 60s at night.
Oh. Yep. And you're freezing.
Yeah.
Nice.
We're outside, we're functioning. We're not doing a lot, but we're functioning during the heat of the day. And then as soon as the sun goes down, the temperature crashes into like the low 60s, high 50s.
Yeah,
in the middle of the summer.
So fucking nuts, like how hot it, like
that's like a 60 to 70 degree temperature swing just from day to night.
It's all high pressure. It's all high pressure.
Yeah, and it's like I remember one day when I realized it was fucking hot is I was walking in this exact chain that I'm wearing right now. I was walking.
You want a cookie?
Yeah, I was walking back from somewhere.
Wait, who?
What?
Who?
What?
Shut up. So I'm walking back, and all of a sudden, like my neck starts itching a little bit in the back. I can tell it's fucking hot. I got my booty hat on and everything, like whatever. I'm walking back from somewhere, and all of a sudden I'm just like, God. And all of a sudden I felt something tugging. I'm like, oh, is there a bug? My dog tag chain started like sticking to my skin.
Jesus.
And it was hot.
Yeah, and I'm like, fuck, man. Like, oh man. And so I like took my collar and I popped it up like this, and I'm walking. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, it got that fucking hot like in late July and shit. I'm just like,
see, one thing I don't think you ever learned how to do, Mike, was wrap your dog tag chain.
I never did that because I'm not a yeah.
What is that? Tape?
550 cord.
Oh.
You got a piece of 550 cord and you run your dog tag chain right through the 550 cord.
Yeah. Well, no, these are my tags that I had.
I never one day in the entire deployment, I never one day wore my dog tags around my neck. I always had them attached to a belt loop in my pocket.
Okay, yeah, you were one of those douchebags. I had a fucking set in my.
He was smart. Weird.
Yeah, exactly. Because I had this, I had these on all the time, and it's still the same electrical tape that I had on over there because I just taped them together. I didn't do silencers, and then I had a pair of my boots in one in each boot, like in the laces and shit. And yeah, but that was just like, what the fuck? And then I was like, it's really hot here, like really fucking hot.
Who?
Yeah, I learned to do that on my first deployment because of that very thing. Because my fucking dog tag chain burned my neck.
Yep.
In the sun.
That's what happened to me, and I was like, oh God.
And so after deployment 1, I never again wore my dog tag chains around my neck.
Yeah. Well, luckily that was the only time that it actually affected me because I was just like more cognizant of like, I wore I actually would zip up my blouse as far as it would go and then, do that.
I also couldn't stand having them against my skin underneath the IBA. I could not tolerate that.
Well, that's why I taped mine together, is because they didn't move, and I couldn't feel them.
Yeah, well, I could.
And teach their own. Like, it's fucking whatever. But yeah, these are fucking. Yeah, that's all I had, and then the ones in the boots.
These are. I just noticed that these are actually two different dog tags from two different issues, because the religion is different on them. Well, it's the same religion, but it's just abbreviated differently.
I think mine was I was Catholic at the time, so yeah, it's Roman Catholic. And then
one's abbreviated, one's spelled out on these ones that I have. So
yeah,
one of these must have been from first deployment, one must have been from second.
Yeah, O negative. Yeah.
Oh, everybody wants your blood.
I know.
Well, he's full of it. Look at how big he is.
They got it. They got it. Like, I know I've told you that story, like just talking, but yeah, at the end of basic, we were doing a gold phase shit.
Oh yeah, you told me that. You told me
and
that.
some
you did
dude,
a PT, you did a PT test after giving blood,
responding and like doing everything, and they're like, "Who in here has O negative blood?" I raised my hand. I'm like, "Oh fuck!" And I went down. They're like, "Come here, come here." There was like 5 of us out of 60. They're like, "All right, you guys are giving blood today." And they told the drill sergeants and shit. They're like, "Oh, fine, go ahead." And I'm like, "Fuck, I don't have a choice." They're like, "Nope," because I was during the surge. They needed blood bad.
Yeah.
So I go there, and although we had done at that point, CLS required you to stick IVs all the time, right? And I go there, and I'm like, "Okay, oh, then they've got cookies and shit. Oh my god, this is like actual milk." They're like, "Yeah, that's for after." And I'm like, "Oh,
You're gonna need it.
Great, cool." And then I sit down, and they pull up this fucking beveled garden hose of a needle, like a fucking 10 gauge needle.
Heck yeah.
To get it out as quickly as possible.
I'm like, "Oh god, okay, I can do this." And all of a sudden they put it in, and it fucking hurt. And I was like, "All right, just relax, and everything." And I was fine. I was doing well. And all of a sudden I looked at the fucking bag. And
don't do that.
and I like almost passed out. And they just went, "Okay." And they just laid me back like completely down. They said the color just went from like normal to just white, completely pasty white in like a second. I just went, and then I'm like, I didn't pass out. They said I didn't pass out, but I was just like, "Oh my god." And I'm like, "How much longer?" They're like, "Just a little bit, whatever." Anyway, that gets done. And I'm like, "Oh my god, that was fucking weird."
Mm-hmm.
And then I go, and they're like, "Yeah, you have all the cookies and whatever you want." And I'm just like stuffing Chips Ahoy in my mouth and shit like that, and just getting, a bunch of food that I couldn't get in basic or AIT. And I'm just like stuffing, drinking real milk. I'm like, "Oh my god, this is so fucking good." And they're like, "Okay, you guys can go back to your thing." So we march back to our thing. And then I do a PT test the next morning.
I'm gonna hold my chain up just so Virginia can see it.
Yeah, your voice is off, Jake.
Is it?
Yeah, it's not coming through.
I can hear him.
Hold on.
His headphones died.
No, Mike, can you hear him?
Yeah,
I can hear him.
I can hear you. I hear every word you're saying.
Hold on.
But yeah, Virginia, this is this chain is still exposed. It's just not very much of it.
Heck yeah.
The rest of it's just wrapped in paracord.
So you should have been like me, Mike, and just had your blood type be B positive, like my attitude. You gotta smile all the time.
Is it working?
Let's see.
I can hear you just fine.
Speaker, go. What the fuck? Why is this not working?
Check. 1, 2.
No, we're good.
Check.
Yeah, we're good.
I could hear him the whole time. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think my speaker just shit out for whatever reason. It didn't
Okay.
make noise or anything, but like, yeah. So, yeah, that was fun. Did the PT test and weirdly enough failed my run for the first time since week 1 of basic.
No, I wonder why.
Yeah, it's like
it's so much less weight to carry. Come on now.
Right.
Surprisingly, my best PT test or my best run at basic was 14 flat, and it was the day after I went to sick call for bronchitis.
I was good to sleep for once.
No, the day before I had to go to sick call because I was so fucking ill. They gave me a Z pack of antibiotics.
He went to sick call. Sick call, Ranger.
He's an intelligent man.
Sick call, Ranger.
It went to sick call because I was hacking up. I was basically hacking up a fucking lung every day. They gave me a Z-Pack for bronchitis. The very next day we had a PT test and I ran a 14 flat.
Well, it's because all the drugs they had you on.
It was just antibiotics and it hadn't had a chance to work yet.
I mean, you think it's just antibiotics, but a Z-Pack's a lot more than just antibiotics.
I had only had the first dose.
There was a kid in basic who he had bronchitis really bad. They gave him Mucinex DM. That's got ephedra in it, right?
Yeah.
And he's like,
high as fuck.
No, he wasn't high as fuck, but he's just like, so I'm feeling better. If you want one of these, it'll fucking open up your lungs and you'll be good to go on your run. And that's why I ran my best time, is I had ephedra running through my system.
Well, look at that. Turns out drugs make people perform better. Weird. Weird.
My fastest run time was 14:46. I know it's slow, but like I'm not built for running.
No.
Like I'm not, but like it was still a minute and a half or a little over a minute less than the minimum. And I'm like, cool. Because I usually run about 15.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. But I ran 14:46 and like, okay, cool.
My fastest ever was my very last record PT test, and it was 12:54.
Oh, in Iraq?
Around Como Hill.
Yeah. That wasn't a bad track, actually.
No, it wasn't.
I didn't mind that.
I ran so fucking much in Iraq. It was not funny.
That was my best time as well. That was 14.
It was just really good conditions for running around that.
Right, and it was flat. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It was perfectly flat. The horseshoe was perfectly flat, and it was like, yeah, because I ran my best PT test on that track as well.
Sergeant Hankey actually, because once I had my article 15 and I was in the commo shop, Sergeant Hankey actually was in charge of PT, he had some smokers of some PT sessions where we would go to Como Hill, we would run around the bottom,
and
then we would do like, I don't know, 50 push-ups, and then we would run up to the next level and we'd run around the next level.
Yeah,
then we'd do like 50 sit-ups, then we'd run up to the next level and we'd run around that level and do something, and then we would go back down and do it again, and then we would run back to the pad.
That does get you actually in shape. Like if you do it if you're already in okay shape, that shit will get you, because we did my last assignment there, we would do an alternating day kind of PT thing where we do arms and running one day and then abs, just completely abs the next day. And for arms, what we would do is the deck of cards for push-ups.
Yeah.
The deck of cards is a fucking killer. That's an absolute fucking murder. But when you get past the first few sessions and your body starts healing and you can start doing the whole fucking deck without dying, man, that improves your push-up score. And then you go for a 4 mile, 5 mile run after that. Hey, you get in shape pretty quick. And then abs, it was the I liked ab day because it was a 15-minute ab workout, but people say, oh, that's nothing. But
it was a smoker.
It was a smoke session.
There was actually one PT day that I did with Sergeant Hankey in the commo shop. Newt actually taught me the ab workout that I did, because I actually Sergeant Hankey let me lead it, and we used the decline bench at the gym.
That's what we did. We did inverted fucking sit-ups.
Yep.
Where you start down here.
Yep. You start all the way down and you go to 90 degrees, and then you go down 90 degrees, and then you start parallel to the floor and you go all the way up.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take off, guys.
Yeah, no worries.
See you,
We're gonna
Mike.
wrap up here pretty quick.
Yep.
But,
Yeah,
yeah.
good
Have a
talking.
good night.
Later,
Good
guys.
talking.
Bye bye.
Yeah,
But even Sergeant Hankey said that was a smoker of a workout.
we did. We would do 15 minutes, and it was we got a minute in between each. Each exercise to like just.
Yeah.
And we would do the inverted.
It was timed, not reps. It was timed.
We did the and it's your max. It's not just fucking whatever. It's your max, and then we would do what the fuck did we do? I remember we ended with the supine bicycle, which fucking sucks.
Yep.
That thing is a fucking absolute game ender. But we would do that.
Don't make fun of Sergeant Hankey. Hank and beans.
I never will. Yeah.
No, Virginia is. He is one of the best soldiers I ever served with.
Yeah. There's a
He
lot
was
of
a
good guys.
true leader.
There's a lot of good guys. But yeah, the fucking PT was good, but you have to be in shape because if you try shit now, you're gonna kill yourself.
Yeah, I don't have a decline bench either.
Yeah, and also you'd fucking die.
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't be able to walk for 3 days. So
That's okay. My job doesn't require me walking.
That's fair.
yeah, but you couldn't push the fucking clutch in to get your truck started.
It's fine.
You'd be fucked. But all right, yeah, good stream. We'll wrap it up and probably want to install the sync.
Yeah, we can do this thing.
All right, cool.
That's why you can't kill me yet.
Not yet.
Borrowed
Not
time.
yet.
Best kind of time.
It's coming. It's close.
That's what she said.
As long as I maintain my usefulness, I'm immune.
I gotta come up with more projects for you so I don't have an excuse.
You got a shovel?
Yeah, we shoveled today. Don't worry. I crawled across the ground like a dog.
Fuck yeah.
Hand him an E-tool and tell him to dig a hole. And then when he gets done digging the hole, tell him to fill it back in.
Well, I did that today.
Yeah, he dug. He ran the shovel today. I crawled across the ground and unrolled a bunch of
Landscape fabric.
Yeah, landscaping fabric for his garden.
Anyway, I got to get up at 2:30.
Yeah. Well, it's a good time to fucking call it quits.
Heck yeah.
So.
Yeah,
All right.
this was a good stream.
Oh yeah, it was fun. War Wisdom.
Yeah, we got to get him on again. That was
Yeah.
cool.
We need to get Josh Murray back on.
We do.
Oh fuck yeah. Yep.
I missed the Josh Murray one, which sucked because I really wanted to be there for that.
I think
But
you were actually working that day.
I was working that day.
Yeah, you were working. It was like fucking.
Like,
I think-
That was actually a really fucking shitty day too. 'Cause I was gonna like try to tune into part of it, and I was like, motherfucker, and I just everything was going wrong that could go wrong. So
no, it was a fun time, but yeah, we'll get him back on and yeah. So
Hey, you should actually see if you can get a hold of him for the 27th when you're going to be down here.
great. You just fucking advertise that to the fucking world.
Yeah, but nobody knows where I live.
I do.
Well, you do, but even Devin doesn't know where I live.
No, and we'll keep it that way.
darn, if only I knew how to like follow Mike. Shit, dude.
No.
Combat cuddles don't count.
Yeah, I'll put a fucking I'll
Bug
put
in
a
his ear.
bug in his ear. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll put a feeler up. But all right, what's the code word for people who are watching this after the fact?
Naval Beach Battalions.
Naval Beach Battalions. Comment with that if you're watching this after the fact. And yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. And we'll probably see you next week.
Combat cuddles.